foot to the ball, and the final game of this college football season is underway with a touchback. '60-year-old Tom Osborne in his final game as Nebraska coach. So many memories from the Orange Bowl. In recent years, they've been sweeter memories. Peyton Manning in his final game. He holds every passing record at the University of Tennessee. Huskers spread the field to start the game. And Manning checking on the first play from scrimmage. He throws on target, close to a first down. Marcus Nash. There is a flag on the play thrown to the offensive backfield.
Sean, I think we're going to have a holding penalty to start the game with.
Terry McCauley is the referee. It's an Atlantic Coast Conference officiating crew.
Spencer Riley, number 68, the left guard. He was the culprit. He was working against Jason Peter, number 55.
Offensive line of Tennessee had difficulty early in the season, particularly in that loss at Florida. They were manhandled up front. They've been much better since, particularly when they put the true freshman, Posey Coleman, in the starting lineup at right tackle. Instead of a gain of 8, the ball back on the 8-yard line. First and 22. The quick hitter caught for a short gain. Out across the 12 goes Peerless Price, tackled by Erwin Sweeney. The Tennessee backs and receivers, 3 wideouts to start the game. Jermaine Copeland, Peerless Price, and Marcus Nash, their leading receiver. Sean Bryson, an excellent pass-catching fullback. And Lewis is the tailback. And up front, from left to right, Clifton Riley, Teague, Hamilton, and Coleman. Teague, an all-conference center. The coaches say the strength of that line, the tackles, Clifton and Coleman. Jamal Lewis out to the 14-yard line. The true freshman, leading freshman rusher in the nation this season, averaging 114 yards per game. Tripped up by Tony Ortiz. Great front four on defense for Nebraska. Grant Wistrom won the Lombardi Award. Jason Peters, an All-American. Wilson Rucker, the rest of the front. The linebackers are Jay Foreman between Tony Ortiz and Octavius McFarland. The leading tackler on the defense is the rover Mike Brown. Ralph Brown, the right corner. Erwin Sweeney, the true freshman at left corner. And Eric Warfield at free safety. Third down and 16. Shovel pass. Sean Bryson to the 20 and tackled by Jay Foreman. 10 yards short of the first down. The holding penalty really hurt.
Well, you really have to wonder, Sean. Tennessee came out, had good protection on the first pass play of the game. The line did protect them. Then all of a sudden, the holding penalty really set them back. Here, they out of the shotgun formation, they run just a little shovel pass underneath. But the speed and the mobility of the Nebraska defense, that's going to be the tough thing on the Tennessee offense tonight, how to counter that speed.
Tennessee had to use a timeout. You saw the punter, Chris Hogue, signaling timeout. They did not have enough men on the field. Mile-per-hour breeze. It should be excellent field position for Nebraska on its first possession. Hogue, what a kick into the breeze. A boomer sends Bobby Newcomb back to the 20. That rolls inside the 5, and it looks like it will stop near the 2. What a kick by Hogue. By far the longest of his career, 78 yards. His previous long was 52, and that 78-yarder is just 4 yards shy of the Orange Bowl record.
Sean, in big games, coaches talk to their teams before coming out about turnovers and field position. That kick by Chris Hogue was dramatic in terms of field position.
He wasn't even the starting punter at the beginning of the year. He was the backup, but the freshman David Leverton had trouble. Scott Frost, hands off. Joel Makovica stopped with very little, perhaps a half yard. Raynoch Thompson led the surge for the Tennessee defense. The Nebraska quarterback is Scott Frost, the senior from Wood River, Nebraska. Started his career at Stanford after 2 seasons there. transferred back to his home state university, and this year he became the 10th quarterback in Division 1A history to pass and rush for more than 1,000 yards in the same season. Chris McCoy of Navy also accomplished that feat this year. Frost keeps on the option, out across the 3, and that's all. Torrey Noel, the strong safety, up to make the play on the Nebraska quarterback.
Nebraska backed up here in their own territory, wants the best player on their team with the ball. That's Scott Frost on the option, but the speed of the Tennessee defense, the quickness and mobility of that defense played the play perfectly.
On 3rd and 9, Frost has a man open. It's too high. He was looking for the tight end, Sheldon Jackson. Jonathan Brown applied some pressure on Frost and forced a hasty throw.
Well, one thing Nebraska does not like to do is throw when you expect them to throw. That's exactly what happened here. Scott Frost does not want to be in a throwing game tonight. They want to surprise you with the play-action pass. They hate it when they're behind the down and distance.
Terry Fair has the same injury as Peyton Manning, a bursa sac injury. Back to receive the punt from Jesse Cush. And his first punt is a beauty, but he had the aid of the breeze. Fair bobbled it. Retreated all the way back to the 33. And he is stopped at the 37-yard line. A 56-yard punt by Cush, and the punters are the story here in the first 4 minutes. No score. Tennessee back on offense in a moment. Osborne serving as offensive coordinator. He's working in that role at the moment on the Nebraska sideline. That's another one of the reasons he decided to get out of coaching. He felt because of his heart condition that he just didn't have the ability to work the kind of schedule that it takes to be the offensive coordinator and the head coach. Tennessee on offense for the second time. Whistle stopped the play.
Sean, I think it's interesting to note that Tennessee tonight.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards. Still first down.
Is playing for the first time without a lot of pressure on them. They're the underdog tonight, a heavy underdog to Nebraska, and sometimes that allows you to be looser. You play with more of a carefree spirit, if you will, and it'll be interesting to see as this game unfolds if Tennessee can take advantage of that underdog role.
Well, one thing the Michigan win did do without question yesterday is eliminate Tennessee from national championship consideration. More than 11,000 yards passing in Manning's career. Only Todd Santos and Ty Detmer have thrown for more in college football. Bryson, as we mentioned, the fullback, is an excellent receiver. He's back to the 35-yard line, tackled by Erwin Sweeney. Bryson, a junior from Franklin, North Carolina. And Sweeney's a true freshman who became a starter in the 4th game of the year when he took over for Jerome Peterson. Many analysts believe the one weakness of the Nebraska team is the secondary.
Well, you know, they're young. It's not that they're not talented. They're very talented, but they're inexperienced. Freshman, sophomore. They have some younger type players in that secondary. 2
sophomores and a true freshman, the starters. Quick pass, and it didn't go anywhere. Peerless Price wrapped up immediately by Octavius McFarland.
A lot of people don't give the Nebraska defense credit for their speed. That ball was thrown to the outside. David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator of Tennessee, wants to make Nebraska defend the entire field. So he bunches receivers here, throws it outside, but watch the closing speed of the red shirts. That is why Nebraska is one of the better defenses in the country. They can run to the football.
3rd down and 12. Manning's 4 for 4. But for only 13 yards. He's under pressure. Short pass. And Derek Edmonds, the reserve fullback, is thrown down immediately. Again, Erwin Sweeney in on the stop for Nebraska. So the penalties have really hurt Tennessee on its first 2 possessions, and the Volunteers will punt again 5 minutes in.
Remember, we said at the beginning of the telecast, the Tennessee offensive line has got to keep Peyton Manning clean. That's not a sack, but it's a little bump, and who knows with that knee of his, they've got to make sure they keep him clean all night long.
Well, what can Chris Hogue do again? He can boom another one. High punt taken by Bobby Newcomb, the true freshman. He started at the 12. He's driven back at the 22-yard line. Ball came out, but he was ruled down by contact. A 51-yard punt. And a 10-yard return for Newcomb. Chris Hogue, the man of the hour for the Volunteers. Still no score.
Nebraska fullback Joel Makovica, after one rushing attempt, re-injured that left hamstring. Trainer Doak Ostergaard told me they think he's strained an even larger portion of the muscle than before. They're giving him some medicine. They're warming him up. They'll see how he responds. But, guys, his return to this game is unlikely. Back to you.
And obviously, that's a big blow to Nebraska. Makovica averages 6.5 yards per carry. But Billy Legate moves in at fullback. Number 40. He's blocking for Amon Green. Raynoch Thompson made the tackle for Tennessee. Amon Green, second leading rusher in the nation this year, behind Ricky Williams of Texas. Makovica got the start at fullback. Lance Brown, Jeff Lake, and Tim Carpenter, who is not a pass receiver, at tight end. And an outstanding offensive line. Aaron Taylor was the winner of the Outland Trophy this year. Eric Anderson, the tackle, first team All Big 12. 4 50-year seniors and the junior Josh Heskew at center. 2nd and 9. Frost chopped down behind the line of scrimmage by Raynoch Thompson. Back of the 21-yard line. So Thompson has been active early, the sophomore from New Orleans. Coaches say he's going to be a big-time player. Has great speed and does a great job diagnosing the play early. The defense up front, Jonathan Brown, their leader in sacks, with 13.5. Duff, Green, and Terry, the rest of the front. Leonard Little, one of the best defensive players in the nation. First team All-SEC. Thompson and Wilson surround him. In the secondary, Griffin, Noel, Gaines, and Fair. Frost on 3rd down. Hit as he threw. Open, the tight end, Sheldon Jackson. He's short of a first down out of the 29. Corey Gaines made the tackle. And it will be another punt.
Sean, right now, the speed, mobility, and quickness of the Tennessee defense is affecting the Nebraska offense. There's no question about it. They are matching up very well early in the game, and the more they can put pressure on Scott Frost right there, that's going to help him as the game goes along. Get Scott behind the down and distance, make him a throwing quarterback, take him out of what he does the best, and that's running.
Fair waiting for the punt from Cush. Cush came to Nebraska as a walk-on, and that was not a very good punt. Down at the 37-yard line. A 36-yard punt by Cush. No score midway through the first quarter at the FedEx Orange Bowl. Led the Cornhuskers back with scoring runs of 15 and 14 yards. Nebraska, a 24-17 victory to bring Tom Osborne his first national championship. Of course, they repeated at the Fiesta Bowl the following year with an annihilation of Florida. Some of the Tennessee players believe the reason they're such a big underdog in this game is that people are thinking about that SEC team, Florida, getting hammered 2 years ago by Nebraska. Another flag down. Manning trying to stretch the defense, throws incomplete, looking for Marcus Nash. He was well covered by Ralph Brown, an outstanding cornerback. Consensus first team All Big 12 this season, but we check out the flag of the line.
Sean, the Tennessee team offensively wants to keep
On the defense, lined up in the neutral zone, 5 yards, still first down.
The Tennessee offense wants to keep the threat of a running game on Nebraska all night, but yet they've run 7 offensive plays total, but only 1 run. Jamal Lewis, the great freshman tailback at Tennessee, has got to get into the game. He's got to become a factor.
And the Tennessee offense improved dramatically this season once they did establish the ground game with the emergence of Lewis. Here is Lewis fighting for a couple out to the 43, tackled there by Jason Peter. Lewis rushed for 1,364 yards this season, and you have to remember he started only 9 games. He was not the starting tailback at the beginning of the season. In the first 3 games of the season as a team, Tennessee rushed for 100 yards, just more than 99. Since then, you see what they've done, a dramatic improvement, more than 168 yards per game on the ground.
Well, and it took Lewis a little time to learn pass protection, and in this offense, you have to protect Peyton Manning when you're a running back.
Second down, Lewis trying to get outside. He has a great combination of power and speed, and he's across midfield. Mike Rucker made the tackle. That's a gain of 8.
This is what I was referring to. Tennessee, if they become two-dimensional, if they can run and throw the ball, they can attack the Nebraska defensive team effectively. If they are one-dimensional, they're playing into the hands of what Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator of Nebraska, wants them to do.
Lewis provided the first down of this game for either team. Ball at the 49 of Nebraska. Manning with time as a receiver. First down at the 31-yard line. Andy McCullough tackled by Ralph Brown, the senior from Dayton, on the receiving end of that pass from Manning.
And Sean, you said it correctly. Manning with time. That is the key. Peyton Manning had plenty of time to get back, get planted, and put that ball on the target. That is what will affect this team as much as anything. Give your great player, Peyton Manning, time to throw.
Derek Edmonds now in at fullback, leading the way for Lewis. Good cut back to the inside, and Jason Peter helped drive him back. Jason Wiltz, the other defensive tackle, also at the bottom of the pile. We chatted with David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, earlier this week. He meant no disrespect toward this Nebraska defense, but he felt that Florida defense as a group was better, tougher.
Well, there's no question about it. The Tennessee coaches certainly have a lot of respect for this defense, but they're not awed by it. When they played Florida, they played one of the better defenses in the country, a fierce pass rush, really no different than Nebraska in the Tennessee coaches' minds.
5:20 remaining in the first quarter. No score. The fade incomplete. He was looking for David Martin, a true freshman, who the Tennessee coaches think will be a star, but he hasn't played much this year. He's a surprising target in this game, having appeared in just 4 games during the regular season with just 1 reception.
Well, and Tennessee was trying to get a mismatch here physically. Erwin Sweeney for Nebraska is only 6'1". Martin is 6'5" for Tennessee. They liked the matchup they got there. The ball was about 6 inches off target.
Now 3rd down and 7. Neither team has converted on 3rd down tonight. Manning again with plenty of time, and that's caught for a first down. Sean Bryson tackled by Erwin Sweeney. Tennessee at the Nebraska 20, 1st and 10.
Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator at Nebraska, has got to be concerned, not because Peyton Manning is completing some passes. He's a great player. He's going to hit some open receivers, but because Peyton Manning is getting time to throw. Wistrom, the great player, is working against Chad Clifton, 67. Clifton won that particular war.
The pitch to Lewis. Bryson leading the way. Lewis hit hard and fumbled. And Nebraska has recovered. Ralph Brown knocked it out, and Mike Rucker recovered the fumble at the 21-yard line. What a hit by Brown. Then Rucker pounced on the football.
I said earlier that you're always concerned about field position and turnovers. That's what you preach to your team in the locker room before the opening kickoff. Jamal Lewis, a young player, just didn't have the ball put away quite tight enough, and consequently Ralph Brown gets off the block, makes a great tackle, the ball's loose, Nebraska recovers.
Tennessee showing blitz. They're up near the line. Amon Green out across the 25 to the 26. Well, Philip Fulmer said earlier this week his team cannot afford to make many mistakes against this talented Nebraska bunch, and he watched the first major miscue of the night.
Well, I'm sure Phillip felt that they had points on the board there. They were certainly in field goal range as a minimum and probably touchdown range.
Second and 6, no score. 4:10 remaining in the first quarter. Now one back look from Nebraska. And Green was hit immediately from behind. Excellent penetration by the Volunteers. Buxton, who's been a backup defensive tackle much of this season, forced into action with the season-ending injury to Billy Ratliff, who went out for the year with a knee injury suffered against Southern Miss.
What the Tennessee defense is doing right now is they're penetrating upfield. Whenever you penetrate against an option team or a counter team, which Nebraska runs a lot of counter plays, it's disruptive to the offense. That is what they're doing effectively.
Play action fake to Green. Frost throws, man open, caught, first down Nebraska. Sheldon Jackson across midfield with the first down of the night for the Huskers. A gain of 25.
Sheldon Jackson is the best receiving tight end at Nebraska. He's going to come from this side of the screen, drag across the field. It's a nice counter pass by Nebraska. All of the Tennessee defense flowed one direction. Frost comes away from that flow, finds Sheldon Jackson. Great hand placement and concentration by the big tight end.
Joel Makovica back on the field for Nebraska. He got the carry and got 2 to the 46 of Tennessee, where he ran into Raynoch Thompson.
It's going to be critical to see if Makovic can stay in this game. He's such a wonderful blocker as well as an outstanding runner. Your fullback's got to lead that tailback all night long. And boy, when you lose a guy like that out of your lineup, it affects your running game.
Talking with Joel a couple of days ago, he said lately teams have been keying on him, taking away those inside runs. And as a result, his stats haven't been as impressive lately. Whistles before the play. No play.
Boy, and Tennessee is lucky there were whistles. Nebraska came in an unbalanced line and ran an option to the short side of the field. Tennessee wasn't lined up properly. That play might have gone.
Ball start on the offense. 5 yards. Repeat second down.
That play very well might have gone for a Nebraska touchdown. There's only 2 men over here on this side. Everybody else is over here. Tennessee had to adjust, didn't get quite lined up, and the pitch is wide open with a lead blocker. No one else in the defense out here for Tennessee.
Tom Osborne gives the opponent just about every formation, just about every play out of every formation. It's amazing to watch them practice. Here's Frost throwing, on target again. Matt Davison, the true freshman from Tecumseh, Nebraska. Perhaps best known for his diving catch at the end of regulation against Missouri for a touchdown that forced overtime in that game against the Tigers, a game the Huskers went on to win in OT.
Well, Tom Osborne's been in a lot of big games, and he knows when you're playing against a fired-up defensive team that's really penetrating and flying to the ball, counter them. Play-action pass and counter plays, and that's exactly what that was, a play-action counter pass that was effective.
Nebraska starting to get in rhythm after the fumble by Lewis. Frost throws, looking deep. It is caught by Newcomb and bodies out of bounds at the 14-yard line. Tackled by Torrey Noel. 21 yards on the throw by Frost to Newcomb.
This is what makes defending the Nebraska offense so difficult. It's the most effective and difficult offense in the country to stop. It's a play-action pass. They make it look like option. Then Frost jumps back. Newcomb runs it inside. Post corner route. He runs to the post and then back outside. The ball is thrown where either he catches it or no one catches it.
The option, he had to pitch it. It's Shevin Wiggins inside the 5 and down near the goal line. Gerald Griffin made the tackle that saved the touchdown. Wiggins, a wingback, taking the pitch, and he has Nebraska inside the 2, first and goal.
This is a 3-back play where it's the famous option play for Nebraska. Scott Frost takes the hit but dishes the ball off just beautifully. Scott Frost, half the time when you watch him play on the option, he doesn't even look where he's pitching the ball. He just flicks it out there, knows his wingman is with him.
Amon Green, short of the goal line. He was stopped by Leonard Little. It will be second and goal with 1.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And there was a flag on the play. So it remains first and goal.
Amon Green here on the power play. Fights for heavy yardage and then all of a sudden fumbles it. Tries to sneak it across, but the officials saw it. No touchdown. Sean, it's amazing. Just a few seconds ago, Tennessee's defense was in control of the Nebraska offense. But that is what makes it so difficult to defend Tom Osborne's attack. All of a sudden, they have so many weapons, so many formations, and your defense just can't keep track of all of it.
Many of the coaches who talked about Tom Osborne since he announced his retirement talk about his great skill as a game coach. There's many adjustments. Up and over and in for a touchdown. Amon Green makes it 6-0 Nebraska.
Watch the fullback, Billy Legate, number 40. He takes the place of Macavicka. He's the lead blocker on the play. He's the one that isolated on the linebacker. Right there, number 40. He knocked Leonard Little out of the hole, which enabled Amon Green to score the touchdown.
Chris Brown out of the hole to Ted Retzlaff. And it is 7-0 Nebraska. Now this Orange Bowl memory.
This FedEx Orange Bowl memory is sponsored by Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
The 1984 Orange Bowl matched number 1 Nebraska, number 4 Miami. Nebraska trailed by 7 with less than a minute to play. On 4th and 8, Jeff Smith scored from 24 yards out. Nebraska went for 2 in the win, but Turner Gill's pass was knocked out of Jeff Smith's hands. Miami won the national championship with a 31-30 victory over Nebraska.
Stranger.
And left in the first quarter. Our overhead shots are from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. Goodyear's blimp fleet will double this year with 3 new blimps arriving in international markets. After the fumble by Jamal Lewis at the 22 of Nebraska, the Cornhuskers went 78 yards. It took 8 plays. And Frost was 3 for 3 on the drive, with Tennessee concentrating on stopping the run. He hurt them with the pass. Chris Brown bounces it down the field. Nice hop for Cedric Wilson, the true freshman. He's in trouble and stopped short of the 20-yard line. Knocked down at the 17. Clint Finley in on the stop. Mike Brown also in on the tackle for Nebraska. Click on to CBS Sportsline, where you'll find a wrap-up of tonight's game and news on all the College Bowl action. Get the latest scores, stats, highlights, exclusive columns, and the latest breaking news in all of sports. Plus, check out the most in-depth Olympic site on the web. Get in on the action at cbs.sportsline.com. And again, confusion in the Tennessee huddle. The player running on late. They'll have to hurry to get this play on. Play clock at 3. Mark Levine now the tailback. He's out to the 21. Tackled by Tony Ortiz. Levine was the starting tailback at the beginning of the year before Lewis won the job.
You know, you go back, Mark Levine is now in the game for Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis right here with the ball. He has it in the wrong arm. He should have the ball outside, in the outside arm, away from all those defenders. I'm not sure that that necessarily is what caused the fumble, but you always fundamentally put that ball away from the defense.
Antron Peebles, one of 3 tight ends used regularly by Tennessee, being helped off. The junior from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Started his career at linebacker. Also a defensive end, then moved to tight end in spring practice. Tight end's not a big part of the passing attack. As a matter of fact, UT tight ends have just 3 catches this year.
Mark Levine, the running back, fell into his right knee. It was a good block by Peoples, but all of a sudden he got hit from the behind there.
Levine again. Big hole. Mark Levine breaks free. Good move on Warfield, and he's tackled out at the 48-yard line by Carlos Polk, a backup linebacker. Gain of 27 for Levine. And Polk is slow to get up for Nebraska.
Nebraska wants to make sure they eliminate the running game. Tennessee has established early in this game that they are capable of finding some creases in that Nebraska front. So far, Levine found them, so did Jamal Lewis. It's encouraging if you're a Tennessee fan.
Jamal Lewis trotting along the Tennessee sideline, might have been injured on that hit that caused the fumble. Play action fake, a good one by Manning. He throws into coverage, and it's almost intercepted by Mike Brown. He was looking for Marcus Nash, and it was nearly picked off by the sophomore from Scottsdale, Arizona.
Well, Mike Brown is the rover back for Nebraska. He read Peyton Manning's eyes. Peyton Manning was looking where he was throwing. Brown made a great break on the ball, very close to an interception that could have gone the distance had he been able to hang on to it.
Brown was an outstanding two-way player in high school in Arizona. The Arizona High School Player of the Year as a senior. He won the award as the best running back in the state and also the best defensive back. Manning. That pass deflected and intercepted by Eric Warfield. Warfield at the 30 and tackled from behind at the 25-yard line by Sean Bryson. Manning has seen this before. His receivers had a tough time hanging on in the SEC championship game against Auburn, and as a result, the Volunteers just did squeak out a victory.
Well, you have to wonder, Jermaine Copeland, number 6, the wide receiver, he is dragging across the formation, but Peyton Manning throws a hot ball here. This ball is an underneath route, and it needs to be a little bit lower and a little softer. It's a little bit hot. I don't say that Jermaine Copeland shouldn't have caught it, but it wasn't an easy catch.
Third interception of the season for Warfield, the only senior starter in the secondary for Nebraska. He hit
the formation on a little drag route. The ball certainly should have been caught. I would say, though, I've seen it on practice fields for 29 years. The ball, when it's a little bit high or a little bit hot, wide receivers have oftentimes tipped it up in the air as they did right there.
Carlos Polk, who was injured a couple of plays ago, has his shoulder pads off and is heading to the locker room for Nebraska. He's a backup linebacker. Frost on first down, keeps and gets drilled right at the line of scrimmage. What a first half Raynoch Thompson is having. Let's get more on the condition of Carlos Polk from Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Sean, they took him to the sidelines, as you saw, and he was laying flat the entire time. They think he may have broken his right collarbone, so they're taking him back for x-rays, and we'll have more after that. Back to you.
2nd and 10. 7-0 Nebraska. They capitalized on the first turnover by Tennessee, a fumble, 178 yards for a score. Now at the interception, they're at the 26. Newcomb in trouble behind the line and thrown for a loss by Jonathan Brown. Antron Peebles heading to the dressing room for Tennessee with his right shoe off.
Jonathan Brown, the left defensive end for Tennessee, plays the reverse play perfectly. It's a little counter play to number 12, Bobby Newcomb, the fastest player at Nebraska. But Jonathan Brown did exactly what his coaches told him to do, play the reverse.
Quarterback draw, Frost trying to get outside. 2 flags thrown at the feet of offensive linemen. Raynoch Thompson and Terry Fair made the tackle, and it's against Nebraska. Play would be short of a first down, and it would be 4th down at the 22. Certainly a makeable field goal distance for Chris Brown, one of the best kickers in the country.
Tennessee will have to take the penalty, back him up, and give him another down, but certainly put him out of the field goal range, or at least in more difficult range.
On the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul, repeat third down.
Let's get more on the Tennessee injury situation from Ed Cunningham.
Hey, Sean, the running back Jamal Lewis has a slight sprain in his left ankle. He's going to be able to go back in the game, hopefully run it out. Looks a little bit gimpy on the sidelines. The news is not so good for tight end Antron Peebles. They've taken him in for x-rays. Right now, it's severely sprained right ankle. He will not return unless a miracle happens before now and the next time they go on offense.
Nebraska back at the 39-yard line. Cross setting up a screen to Green. Leonard Little pulls him down from behind. Saw the great speed of Little. He's played most of his career lined up outside as a pass rusher. This year he's made the transition to middle linebacker. And no matter where you put him, he's a terrific player.
And Leonard Little playing in the middle here, runs underneath the block. He's man-to-man on the tailback. They tried to block him. He ran underneath the block. He used that athleticism of his to track down Ahman Green on the screen. Couldn't be played any better by a guy playing man-to-man coverage. Jesse Cush, the son of a former Husker. His father, Bill, was a defensive back on their 70 and 71 national championship teams. Jesse hangs it up high. Oh, another fumble! And a touchdown for Nebraska. Lance Brown ran it in, but it was a muff punt, so the ball will come back to the 15-yard line. But it's another key mistake by Tennessee. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Terry Fair could not handle the punt. Sean, right before he dropped this punt, I was about to say what a terrific stop by the Tennessee defense. What a job they did on defense. But the muff punt obviously brings them back into a very difficult position, but they're going to have to rally here. They got to go right back in and say, hey guys, whatever we do, we can't give up a touchdown. Tighten it down and let's play defense and just suck it up and go. You wonder if Homer will continue with Fair as the punt returner. He's had a tough time hanging on lately. Makovica breaks tackles. He's inside the 10. Down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd down. Jonathan Brown and Gerald Griffin made the tackle. Tennessee fortunate now to just be down 7-0 with 3 turnovers, but it could be 14 shortly. Well, you make a good point about Terry Fair. He had a couple fumbles on punt returns in the SEC championship game, and tonight the wind's a factor. There's no question. When that ball gets up there, it's difficult to catch and hard to handle. I think you'll see punt catchers on both sides have some difficulty. Problems with personnel and a flag thrown against Nebraska. Makovica was trying to run off. They had too many men on the field. Huskers were trying to get a timeout, but instead they're flagged for the illegal substitution. Confusion. He wanted the timeout, but the flag had been thrown. The ball's back at the 13, where it'll be 2nd down and 8. Makovica still out of the game. The fullback is Billy Legate. Cross. Pitches to Green. Green dragged down at the 10-yard line by Torrey Noel. They've done a good job bottling up Green, who's rushed for at least 100 yards in each of the last 11 games. The only game this season in which he failed to reach 100 was the opener against Akron, and he had 99 in that one. Well, so far that Tennessee defense is utilizing what they have the most of, and that's that speed and athleticism. They're able to run laterally down with that option play and chase it down. Green 2nd in the nation in rushing this year behind Ricky Williams. Cross pitches. Here's Chevin Wiggins again inside the 10. Touchdown! This is the option play that Nebraska ran at the other end of the field that came up just short of the touchdown. Frost comes, fakes to the fullback, comes outside, and now all of a sudden finds Shevin Wiggins, his wingman, pitches the ball. Tennessee doesn't have enough support in the secondary. He goes into the end zone clean.
Chris Brown, still perfect this year tonight for the Huskers. Sean McDonough and Terry Donahue. They were able to overcome the turnover problems against Auburn in the SEC championship game where the balls, but they're playing a tougher team.
Well, it's going to be much more difficult for Tennessee to overcome those mistakes tonight. Already 3 turnovers and 14 points off 2 of the turnovers. And if they continue to do that, it's going to be a long night for Tennessee.
Chris Brown to kick off again. He bounces it. The short kick taken by Brian Darden, a backup running back. And quality field position for the Volunteers as Darden brought it out to the 38-yard line. Tomorrow, the legend rides again. The Magnificent Seven, the greatest Western of all time. Voters have been flip-flopping all year. Jamal Lewis back in the game. 2 hands around the ball as he dove to the 43-yard line where he was chopped down by Mike Brown.
You know, it's funny about turnovers. When we talk about turnovers, Tennessee 9 turnovers in the last 6 quarters. Sometimes they just come. You coach the same, you emphasize the same fundamentals, you talk to your players about them, but sometimes they just occur. In this particular turnover, the ball needed to be in the outside arm for sure. Maybe it could have been avoided.
On 2nd and 5, Manning. Flag thrown as Marcus Nash has a first down at the play stands. Erwin Sweeney made the tackle at the 47 of Nebraska. The flag thrown in the secondary.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
Holding against Nebraska. That will likely be refused. The result of the play, a 10-yard gain and a first down. There's Grant Wistrom, including a brilliant career at Nebraska. For the 2nd year in a row, he's a first-team All-American in football. He's also a first-team academic All-American.
Penalties decline. First down.
For the 2nd straight year, the only other Nebraska player to have that double-double, Dave Remington. Grant Wistrom is a pre-pharmacy major, very difficult major. He carries a 3.43 grade point average.
Well, he was a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year in '96 and '97.
Manning, take the draw, throws, nice catch. His receiver helped him there, Jermaine Copeland, who had the costly deflection that led to the interception earlier. Made a nice sliding catch at the 34-yard line. 13 more for the Balls and a first down.
Well, Copeland is in the inside slot position. He's just going to run down the field. If you're a Tennessee fan, the thing that you have to be encouraged about is there are some holes in this Nebraska defense, both throwing and running. What you're discouraged about is you got to hang on to the football if you're going to take advantage of those holes.
Jamal Lewis, the lone back. Marcus Nash, the motion man, lobbed out to Lewis. And he's bounced out of bounds after a short gain. Tony Ortiz put the hit on Lewis. Ortiz from Waterbury, Connecticut. Nebraska has players in the program from 26 different states. He's a state champion in track while he was at Crosby High School in Waterbury. Won the 100 meters in Connecticut, the 110-meter hurdles.
Nebraska has a lot of former track athletes on this team. In the early 1990s, Tom Osborne changed his philosophy and went to recruiting more speed, and they have plenty of speed on this squad.
Lewis down to the 30-yard line. Grant Wistrom and Jay Foreman combined on the stop. Foreman, the son of the former great Minnesota Viking Chuck Foreman. He switched numbers this year to wear the number worn by his dad.
Grant Wistrom here just on a little stunt to the inside, played it very well. He has a school record 58.5 tackles for losses throughout his career at Nebraska.
Big third down, 6 yards to go for a Volunteer first down. Tennessee trails 14-0. Manning throws short of a first down. We'll see where the forward progress is spotted. Mike Brown put the hit on Jermaine Copeland. Looks like the ball will be just inside the 27, meaning they're about 2 full yards short of the first down, so Philip Fulmer sends on the field goal unit.
Peyton Manning had to get rid of that ball a little quicker than he wanted to. There was pressure from Nebraska. He had to unload it. I know he's frustrated about that because he knows how critical that first down was.
Jeff Hall, the junior from Winchester, Tennessee, will try a 44-yard field goal. Benson Scott is the holder. That is right down the middle, and Tennessee is on the board with 8:28 remaining in the first half. Jeff Hall, Tennessee's 4th all-time leading scorer, wins the ball their first points tonight. Nebraska capitalized on 2 of them for 14 points.
Well, and the other statistic right here, if you look at rush yards, Tennessee 49, Nebraska only 35.
From the 34, Frost hands it off. Green. Tackled by Raynoch Thompson. He managed to break through the tackle for an extra couple of yards. Out to the 41-yard line. Thompson limping a bit after making the tackle. He had a bruised kidney earlier in the season that caused him to miss their big win at UCLA out in Los Angeles.
Sean, Joel Makovica, number 45, the fullback, when he's in the game, Nebraska's a different offensive team than when he's on the sideline.
He's in the game now, blocking for Green, who squirts across the 45 with a first down for the Cornhuskers. And Corey Gaines made the tackle. 7:40 left in the first half. Nebraska leads by 11.
It's about time for a little play-action pass by Dr. Tom Osborne. This is where he likes to pound you, and all of a sudden make something look like a run and go up top on you.
The option, Frost keeps. Gain of 3 to the 49. Darwin Walker at the bottom of the pile for Tennessee.
Tennessee tonight on defense is going to try to read the path of the fullback to determine whether it's option or power football. That particular time, Makovica showed him a clear-cut path to the option. As a result, the linebackers were able to flow and get into that play.
Frost has 2 wide receivers to the right. He keeps and gets across midfield. Run down again by Darwin Walker, a backup tackle. Corey Gaines also in on the play.
Boy, Sean, Darwin Walker made a great defensive football play from the inside position. He kept his pads perfect. He went down the line of scrimmage, and he ran like a linebacker to that play. It was impressive.
He's a big, strong man, strongest man of the team. Benched 515 pounds in the spring.
Well, you could do that, couldn't you? You or me, we
I
could
get
that
the
up.
15 part anyway. Big 3rd down and 5. Frost went spinning into difficulty and then escaped. Now he throws for a first down. Sheldon Jackson down to the 34-yard line. 14 yards on the gain. Al Wilson made the stop. It was Darwin Walker who put the pressure on Frost, and if you let him escape, you're going to pay the price.
Well, I mentioned that play-action passing. That's exactly what this was. Coach Osborne came back with a play-action pass. Darwin Walker with tremendous pressure, but great players make big plays, and that's what Scott Frost did. He got off the hook and found an open receiver for the first down.
Just inside the 35. Frost down the middle. Newcomb dropped the ball. Had he caught it, in all likelihood would have been 6 points. He was behind Torrey Noel, and the pass hit him in stride, but Newcomb could not squeeze it.
Bobby Newcomb came off a fake of the option and ran right down the field working on Noel. The ball is just maybe an inch or two long, but certainly should have been caught, or if Bobby Newcomb did anything, maybe lay out for that ball, give himself those extra inches to come up with that reception.
2nd and 10. Frost keeps, and he's run down from behind. Jared Hayden, the backup linebacker, showing his speed. Frost can run, and Hayden gained ground coming from behind.
Well, the Tennessee defense, all 11 players on the field can run. Hayden is the right side linebacker. He comes underneath the block, number 48, and then races, lays it out to get Scott Frost by the ankles.
Another 3rd down and 10.
Tennessee has the speed defensively to counter this offense.
Frost throwing on the run, and it is incomplete. It's short hopped. Kenny Cheatham with Gerald Griffin in coverage. So now a decision for Tom Osborne. It would be a long field goal, better than 50 yards, into the wind. And as a result, he'll put the punting unit on. Jesse Cush. And it is Terry Fair back deep for Philip Fulmer. So despite his problems catching punts tonight and in the SEC championship game, he's back there. Might not have to worry about that one. It's a little long. Landed in the middle of the end zone, a touchback. 36-yard punt with a net of just 16. Tennessee gets the ball back, down by 11 in a moment.
The new Dodge wanted to take the sport utility concept to a higher level.
Enter the new Durango. Its best-in-class power, cargo space, and seating for up to 8 raise the bar considerably, as do its strongest-in-class frame and its stable, longer, wider stance. Dodge Durango, a higher form of sport utility, from top to bottom. Durango, new ground for the new Dodge.
How fast do I really have to be going before I get a ticket?
The law's the law.
What is it, 5, 10 miles over?
Deli-style Lays. Ooh. Well, it's a guessing game out there, Mike. Here, let me show you something.
72?
Yep.
Let me see that. 90. Hey, you're fast.
Put crunch in your lunch. New Lay's Deli Style.
Go where you wanna go. Find the road you've never taken.
This is the tire that changed driving forever. The all-season Goodyear AquaTread with the advanced deep groove aqua channel that sweeps water away for serious traction in the wet, especially in braking. Goodyear AquaTread.
Serious freedom. Goodyear, Goodyear.
This is the Great American Race.
Oh, I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
The Daytona 500 is on CBS.
Monday on CBS, kick off the new year with a night of great television. The fun starts with Cosby, then it's the show critics are raving about, Everybody Loves Raymond, followed by Bob Newhart and Judd Hirsch and George and Leo. Then say hello to the new Monday comedy, Style and Substance, starring Terry Donahue. No, actually starring Gene Smart.
Yeah.
Finally, television's most important new drama, Brooklyn South, returns with an episode you cannot miss all Monday night, right here on CBS. Tonight, it's the FedEx Orange Bowl on CBS. Final game for Peyton Manning. As quarterback at the University of Tennessee, Lewis up the middle. That's 5. Steve Warren, a backup defensive tackle with help from Jay Foreman on the stop for Nebraska.
Tennessee, when you get 5 yards on 1st and 10 against the Nebraska defense, it means your offensive line is starting to control the line of scrimmage. And it's not an easy defense to control. They have great pass rushers, a lot of mobility and athleticism, but Tennessee can move the ball.
They're moving against the 5th best defense in the nation in total defense. Manning in the flat, and it's incomplete. Low ball, looking for Andy McCullough. I think the other good news for Tennessee, you'd never know Peyton Manning had a bad knee. The way he has thrown the ball tonight, the way he's been taking his drops. Here's what we were talking about About the Nebraska defense, the black shirts, 5th in total defense, 3rd against the run, 12th in scoring. I think when you compare them to Michigan, most would say Michigan has the better defense, but many would make the argument Nebraska has a much better offense. Nebraska averaged 47 points per game. Michigan never scored more than 38 in a single game. Manning under pressure, has a man in the flat and went through the hands of Lewis. A little bit high. Warren was putting the heat on Manning. And this time it is 3 downs and a punt for the Volunteers.
Well, Steve Warren, the nose guard, came up the middle of the Tennessee offensive line this time, working against Trey Teague, number 70. It's one of the first times tonight that Manning hasn't been able to set his feet and throw properly.
Chris Hogue having a career night. Running with the wind this time. He's kicked 2 beauties against the wind, and here's another cannon shot. Newcomb back to the 20. And he stopped at the 31-yard line. A 55-yard punt by Hogue and an 11-yard return. Chris Hogue, the senior from Memphis, an early star for the Vols. College football's all-time greatest team, and the results were overwhelming. The 1995 Nebraska team, which dismantled Florida in the Fiesta Bowl, received 40% of the votes. Among 16 choices, Amon Green slipped down as he tried to cut upfield. Al Wilson was coming quickly for Tennessee, and Green's down with a loss of 2 back to the 29.
Well, Al Wilson playing the inside linebacker position. He forced the sweep like you want your linebacker to force it. He ran right downhill at it, and Amon Green just flat ducked to keep from getting deheaded by him.
Remember what we told you about Nebraska. Not only leading the nation in rushing this season, but they average 60 yards per game more than any other team in the nation in rushing. Having a tough time tonight against this very quick Tennessee defense. Frost on the run. The receiver upended. Newcomb draws the flag. He collided with Torrey Noel. And the officials threw the flag at the 45-yard line.
Well, it's a good call by the official. One thing you can't do when you play pass defense is put your hands on someone. Torrey Noel working against Bobby Newcomb right in the slot. When Newcomb breaks outside, Noel takes him by the shirt and tried to hold him. Scott Frost saw it. He saw it. Once he saw the flag, he was okay. Phillip didn't see it.
I think maybe Phil Fulmer has an argument that it could have been defensive holding. Frost, I think, still had the ball when the contact was made. Newcomb took a couple steps and then fell down. Given a 5-yard penalty instead of the walk-off out to the spot of the 44. Green up the middle. Now a flag thrown where you would expect offensive holding.
Guarantee this is going back another 10 yards from the spot of the foul.
Holding is the call. Interesting, the results of the all-time greats poll. The 95 Nebraska team. We asked Tom Osborne some of the highlights of his career, memorable games or seasons. He said 78 when he beat Oklahoma for the first time.
Repeat first down.
That was the knock on him early in his career. He couldn't win the big one. He finally beat Oklahoma. He mentioned other teams along the way. But the 95 team, he said, the 95 team I enjoyed on the field.
Right.
And he said it was probably his best team. But he did make the distinction on the field. Those off the field problems were a distraction, and obviously they still weigh.
He clearly made that distinction in conversation with him. And you do as a coach. It affects you.
Shovel pass to Green. Green trying to turn the corner. He does. Amon Green back into Tennessee territory. First down and much more. All the way to the 36 of the Vols. Darwin Walker and Raynoch Thompson brought down Green after a gain of 29.
This is a little shovel pass that Nebraska runs. It's almost like an inverted option play. Instead of the back being on the upfield of the quarterback, it's underneath. And the quarterback, Frost, just shovels it to Amon Green. He gets a great block by Bobby Newcomb, number 12, the wide receiver. And Amon Green is a very powerful back, and he'll punish you rather than run out of bounds. He'll run right through you.
How about Darwin Walker downfield again to catch up with Green?
Sean, one thing about Ahman Green, he averages 172 yards when he's playing against ranked teams. When he generally averages about 156 yards a game, so the guy gets up for big, important games.
Raynoch Thompson left earlier in the game with a sprained ankle and returned, but looks a bit more serious this time around. And he has been a major factor on defense to this point for Tennessee. First and 10. Nebraska at the Tennessee 36. Green cuts back. Green delivering a blow, and he got knocked down by Leonard Little. Terry Fair had the first hit low. And Green just smiled at Little, was barking a bit in the face of Ahman after the hit.
Watch the Outland Trophy winner. Well, there's some hitting going on down there, Sean. And number 67, Aaron Taylor, the Outland Trophy winner, the left guard, made a great block to open up that cutback lane for Green.
Second and short. 2 yards to go for Nebraska first down. Green to the 26. It will be close. Bill Duff and Anthony Hampton combining on the stop. Hampton wears number 85. He came in to replace Thompson, who left 2 plays ago.
Sean, if you're playing defense right now at Tennessee, you've got to be talking about, listen, fellas, let's make sure we only give up a field goal here. Let's not go in there 21-3 at halftime. If we go in at 17-3, we're 2 touchdowns down with Peyton Manning, some of our receivers, we can get right back into this game.
Timeout for a measurement. It is a first down. Our overhead shots are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. It was 1960 when the Goodyear Blimps first began live sports coverage right here in South Florida at the Orange Bowl. Back in those days, the game was played at the Orange Bowl Stadium. Moved a little bit north. This beautiful new facility, Pro Player Stadium. Jay Sims now in as the I-back for the Huskers. Frost pitches to Sims, and he's out of bounds. Perhaps a gain of 1 for the oldest player in the game tonight. Jay Sims, 26 years old. He spent a couple of years working after high school before he came to the University of Nebraska as a walk-on. He's now on scholarship. Graduated in December with a degree in communications.
Sean, in the second quarter here, the Nebraska offensive line is beginning to assert itself. It's starting to come off the ball better than they did earlier in the game. They have better field position, playing with more confidence.
Sims still the I-back. The give to Makovica. Short gain. Al Wilson wrapped him up. Makovica, Green, and Frost, the starting backfield, have combined this season for 3,657 yards rushing and 50 touchdowns.
Well, and when you run behind this big offensive line, number 67, the left guard right there, Aaron Taylor, he just took the nose guard, knocked him 5 yards off the ball with the center, and they create a little void in that defense. But Tennessee's quick enough to fill it up with some of the defender.
And it's still Sims, the I-back. They hand it off to Wiggins, and he is close to a first down. Shevin Wiggins had just 1 rush all season prior to tonight. He's handled it on a couple of occasions tonight, including the 10-yard run for the second Nebraska touchdown.
I think Nebraska will go for this. They run 68 running plays per game on average.
Timeout. Back to the Orange Bowl in a moment. Tom Osborne does.
Sean, you're the best running team in America. You average 68 rushes per game. You're going to go ahead and run this and not even think twice about it, whether you make it or not.
Almost a guaranteed field goal for Brown, who's made 16 in a row, but the first down is almost an automatic, as Terry suggests. Given the prowess on the ground by Nebraska, and was Frost on the keeper. First and 10 at the 14-yard line, and the time is becoming a factor. 55 seconds left.
Look at the push by this big offensive line. They just move the line of scrimmage. They'll get their pads underneath. Frost easily makes the first down behind Aaron Taylor, the left guard.
Now this formation, all the backs lined up in the eye.
This is a stack eye.
And it's Frost. He ran into trouble and put it on the ground. And it is still free. And Tennessee has recovered. First turnover of the night by Nebraska, and a big one. Jonathan Brown came up with the ball after Terry Fair and Anthony Hampton combined to level Scott Frost and knock the ball loose.
Well, Scott Frost on the option just gets stripped. It's just a great play by Terry Fay.
Finally, a turnover goes in favor of Coach Fulmer. He's more than a little pump. Lewis up through a big hole. Look at him power his way across the 40. And now Tennessee will use a timeout, a running play to see if they could get something to get some breathing room and then perhaps take a chance, and that's what they'll do now. One timeout left for the Volunteers, 26 seconds left in the half. They're out at the 42.
When you're backed up like Tennessee was, whatever you do, you don't want to turn the ball over. It's a great lead block by the fullback, Sean Bryson, and Jamal Lewis showing why he is such a strong runner as a freshman tailback. This guy has powerful legs. He drags Nebraska tacklers with him. And he hasn't had a bad first half except for that one fumble that occurred to him early in the game. If he can get on track, it'll open up Tennessee's game in the second half.
He was compared with Jamal Lewis coming out of high school to Herschel Walker, both from Georgia. Jamal's from Atlanta.
I think
this season, Lewis, the second highest freshman rushing total in the history of the Southeastern Conference. Only Herschel Walker rushed for more yards in his freshman season in the SEC.
I think Tennessee may take a shot down the field with 26 seconds left in the half here.
Why not? Now that they're at the 42. Manning hit as he throws. That might be a compelling argument. Why not? Grant Wistrom finally got to Peyton Manning. No problems with the knee as Manning gets back up with 23 seconds left in the half, 2nd and 10.
Well, and surprising because Tennessee's line has done a reasonable job tonight giving Peyton Manning plenty of time, but on this particular play, Grant Wistrom coming on an inside stunt puts tremendous pressure on Peyton, and like you say, you worry about that knee as the game goes on.
3 straight incompletions thrown by Manning. 2nd and 10. Peter got through, but the pass is caught by Marcus Nash. Nash hit hard, but he held on at the 40. And Tennessee looking to the sideline to see if the last timeout will be used. Tony Ortiz made that hard hit on Nash. They have one timeout left. And I don't think Peyton wanted it called. But it was. You can see him hollering at his teammates.
Yeah, you really needed to save that timeout for your field goal team, Sean. Peyton Manning easily could have gotten up, down the ball. He had more downs than time left. He had 4 downs because it was a first down. He could have used the down, saved the timeout for the field goal team. Peyton Manning under real pressure there by Jason Peter, number 55.
He drove Manning a long way back after that ball had been thrown to get him on the ground. Scott Frost told us last season he had the bursa sac injury to the knee. It got puffy just as Manning's did. Frost had his drained 19 times. He said in games it didn't bother him until he was hit and that knee got driven down into the ground, and all of a sudden it would puff back up. I wonder if Scott has said that to his defensive teammates. He made a real effort to drive Peyton down into the ground that time.
But you know, the Nebraska players talked freely about wanting Peyton Manning to play in this game. They felt like their only chance for a national championship was to beat Tennessee with Peyton Manning, not without him.
15 seconds left and no timeouts. When they go over the middle, they'd have to get up very quickly to spike.
Get out of bounds.
Oh, he stayed in bounds and lunges for a first down. The one break for Tennessee could be that it's close to a first down. aren't very high.
Now, they really aren't. I think Tennessee in this half will try to put the ball down the field a little further now that they believe they can protect. They proved that in the first half, that they can protect. Peyton Manning, he's on the target tonight. He's on the money. He looks good to me.
5 or 6 hours a day in the training room for Peyton Manning have certainly paid off. His knee is held up well. Makovica rumbling into the secondary. Terry Fair trying to collar him, and finally he did at the 41-yard line of Tennessee. 24-yard gain for Joel Makovica, the junior from Brainerd, Nebraska.
Well, Joel Makovica reminds the Nebraska people of Rathburn, the great fullback who played at Nebraska, then the 49ers. It's just a little roll play to the fullback. He finds the seam behind the big offensive line, breaks a tackle, spins out, and then drags Tennessee for the first down. This is a walk-on, a former walk-on, one of the famous Nebraska walk-ons.
From a football family, his brother Jeff was Nebraska's starting fullback in 1995. Frost keeps Raynoch Thompson, who's been in and out of the game with a sprained ankle, wrapped up Frost, but Scott advanced the ball to the 37-yard line. A gain of 4. We mentioned Makovica from a football family. Not only did his brother Jeff play at Nebraska, but their dad, John, was an NAIA All-American at Kearney State in the late 60s and was inducted into the Nebraska College Football Hall of Fame in the fall of '96. 6.5 yards per rush. Best among all fullbacks in the nation.
Boy, and certainly Nebraska's best blocking fullback. He does so many things for Nebraska.
Nice block by Billy Legate, who took over from Makovica at fullback. He cleared a path for Ramon Green. And Corey Gaines and Gerald Griffin had to take him down to the secondary. First down, Nebraska. The Huskers impressively on the move to begin the second half.
Watch Billy Legate, the fullback, number 40, Sean. You mentioned his block. He's right here. He's going to isolate on the linebacker for Tennessee. This is why tailbacks can cut back. He really makes a tremendous block, which opens that hole.
2 minutes into the second half. 14-3 Nebraska. And one long drive in the first half, a 78-yard touchdown drive. They're marching here. That play goes to the 20 for Ramon Green. Leonard Little and Corey Gaines combining to put the stop on Green.
It seems to me like Tom Osborne and his coaches went in at halftime and said, hey, fellas, we've never had 69 yards rushing at halftime against anybody. We're going to go back out there and control the line of scrimmage and start to establish a running game.
Already more rushing yards on this drive than they had in either of the first 2 quarters of the football game. Second down and 7. Out of the shotgun. They love quarterback draw out of the shotgun. And Frost is very close to a first down. Al Wilson and Leonard Little on the stop.
Philip Fulmer seen there on the sidelines, got to be concerned. You know, you go in at halftime, you're in the ball game, you know your team's made some turnovers, some mistakes that has really hurt you in the ball game. You come out, you want to get off to a good start in the second half, and here Nebraska takes the opening kickoff and is really mounting a powerful drive. And I say power because they've kept it on the ground and they're knocking them off the ball right now, something they were unable to do in the first half.
It is a first down, and historically that's been the case. This Nebraska attack wears out the defense. After a while, it's harder and harder to stand up to the pounding from this relentless rushing attack. From the 13, first and 10. Newcomb. Bobby's down at the 5. He lunged ahead to move the ball toward the 4. He came into Nebraska as a quarterback, an outstanding prospect out of Albuquerque, recruited by most of the top programs in the nation. They moved him to wingback this season, but Frank Solich will be the new head coach after this game. Says he will get a look at Newcomb at quarterback to replace Frost in the spring.
Well, and you can certainly understand that, Sean. He's one of the fastest guys on Nebraska's team. Tom Osborne with a little counterplay there to Bobby Newcomb to take advantage of the fast flow of Tennessee's defense.
Green following Joel Makovica's block. Green has the first down, and it'll be first and goal for the Huskers at the 2. Well, this is the last game for Tom Osborne after 25 years as head coach. There's Frank Solich, 19 years as an assistant, to Osborne, former outstanding running back at Nebraska back in the mid-60s. And Solich will take over. Frank Solich actually knew before the season began that this would be Tom Osborne's last year. So Tom told me this was going to be it. But the two of them kept it a secret. 11th play of the drive. And it is stopped at the goal line. Leonard Little put the pop on Ahman Green. Tom Osborne has a number of longtime assistants, but no lack of harmony on the staff. The rest of the staff members knew 6 years ago when Osborne made Solich the assistant head coach that really was Tom's way of designating Solich as the man he'd like to see succeed him.
Well, and Tom said the timing for him to retire was perfect because he could help influence who his successor would be. The university president and athletic director agreed with the decision.
Frost up and over and in for a touchdown. An impressive opening drive. Never mind the passes or the play action fakes. Nebraska goes back to its bread and butter. And they made that look easy.
Boy, that offensive line has come out in the second half and reestablished the line of scrimmage. Scott Frost in there by at least a yard and a half behind the big left guard, Aaron Taylor, the center, number 59, Josh Heskew.
Frost might have been shaken up. He's pointing to his left calf. Darwin Walker's going off, grabbing at the back of his neck.
Sean, have you noticed how many Tennessee players have left the game already? One of the difficult things when you play Nebraska, they are so physical and so strong and so deep, they begin to just wear you out.
Chris Brown on for the extra point. And it is good. 80-yard drive by Nebraska to begin the second half.
Do you think you're getting the best shave? Take the Sensor XL Challenge. We bet you can't find a closer, safer shave than Sensor XL. No other razor has Sensor XL soft microfins for extra protection and self-adjusting blades for extra closeness. Take the Sensor XL Challenge. Once you experience the safest way to the closest shave, we bet you won't go back. Gillette Sensor XL.
Hi, welcome to Saturn. I think I hit a rock.
You all right?
Yeah, it's pretty big.
You know, I don't see any body damage.
And I think about it because it was rolling. It may have been a prairie dog.
All right. We'll take a look at the car. Everything checked out with the car.
Really? That's weird.
Hey, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Mr. Finley, your car is fine.
Really? Here comes a whippoorwill from this side of the car.
At Saturn, all our service centers are linked up to a nationwide network of computers that provide us with all kinds of important information.
It is the greatest Western of all time. And on Saturday, the legend rides again.
I hear you fellas are headed for a fight.
We're bringing back the adventure.
Looking for guns to protect an Indian village.
The drama.
Step aside, lady.
We don't hang men around here for no reason.
And the heroes in a new television series that's destined to make history again.
Double or nothing.
The Magnificent Seven, 2-hour series premiere CBS Saturday, contains violent scenes.
An impressive opening drive to begin the second half by Nebraska. And the lead is 21-3 for the Cornhuskers. Tennessee about to get the ball for the first time. In the second half, Cedric Wilson took Chris Brown's kickoff at the goal line. Nice moves to get across the 20. And now he powers out to the 27. Nice return by Wilson. Let's get an update on the condition of Scott Frost. Here's Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Sean. Well, Scott is suffering cramps in both calves, but more in the left than the right. But he told me he's fine. Quarterback coach Turner Gill came over concerned, asking if they needed ice to rub those calves down. But the training staff said they didn't even need that. Back to you.
On that drive, 12 plays, 80 yards, 74 of them on the ground. And the one pass, which the official score deemed the pass, was that shovel pass. They had 74 yards rushing on the opening drive of the half after 69 yards rushing the entire first half. Jamal Lewis out to the 29. A gain of 2 for the freshman.
Sean, in visiting with Philip Fulmer this week prior to the game, he said one of the things that we have to do to win this game, we've got to answer when Nebraska scores. Nebraska's really tough when they get ahead by a couple touchdowns because they control the ball on you because they're a ground-oriented game, and so they consequently eat up the clock. Phillips says we've got to come back and answer. This is an important drive.
On 2nd and 8, and they show patience with the run, but it yields nothing that time. Mike Rucker and Jason Peter at the bottom of the pile for Nebraska. And it'll be 3rd down and 8.
Nebraska's gone to their nickel package, put their 5th defensive back in the game, expecting pass.
3 wide receivers, no tight end for Tennessee. Manning running out of time. He's sacked by Mike Rucker. The first sack of Manning tonight.
Mike Rucker, the left defensive end, number 84. He runs a little inside stunt move. He's the one that comes underneath, slips on a little crack in the Tennessee line there to sack Peyton Manning. Peyton just never had time to get that arm cocked and get the ball down the field.
Now Chris Hogue with his worst punt of the night. But he did get a good bounce. Hogue averaged 61 yards per punt on 3 punts. In the first half, that one wound up going 43. There is a flag down at the 41-yard line. And it's for an illegal block in the back against Nebraska.
Illegal block in the back on the receiving team during the kick. Post-scrimmage kick enforcement. 10 yards from the end of the kick. First down.
Sean, I really think the Nebraska offense is one of the toughest in the country to stop.
Back in a moment.
It doesn't matter if you work for a big company or a startup.
Whether you work for yourself or to help others.
Fidelity has a way to help you prepare for the day when you won't need to work at all.
Whether you're changing jobs,
Or happy where you are,
retired,
or just starting out.
more people trust their retirement plans to Fidelity than any other company.
It's your retirement.
It's our job to help you make the most of it.
So Nicoderm CQ's working for you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing just fine, cold turkey.
Oh, well, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
Take a break?
Oh, nice one. Come on, you know we quit for New Year's. Oh, wait, I'm coming.
Jack, no.
Just one cigarette.
No.
Why are you so calm?
Because I got help. CQ, a 24-hour stream of medicine that's always with you, even when you first wake up. Helps calm the cravings, my friend.
All right.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
To impress the judges, odor and perspiration must obey. Thus, right guard, clear stick or clear gel. Powerful protection that glides on clear. Blue 22, head, head. Right guard, anything less will be uncivilized.
I can put that spoon down anytime I want.
Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, too irresistible for adults.
You just don't get as much milk with a fork, that's all.
Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
This pilot wasn't the only one who died after this crash. So did one of his 2 mechanics. He shot and killed himself after the Air Force charged him with negligent homicide. 60 Minutes, Sunday.
We invite you to click on to CBS Sportsline, where you'll find a wrap of tonight's game and news and all the college bowl action, the latest scores, stats, highlights, exclusive columns, the latest breaking news in sports. Check out the most in-depth Olympic site on the web. Get in on the action at cbs.sportsline.com. Nebraska on offense for the second time in the second half. They stay on the ground. It's Ahman Green with running room again. Out to the 35. Terry, obviously just before the break, you didn't have a chance to finish your thought about the Nebraska offense.
Well, Sean, I was making the point, it's such a tough offense to stop because they run 1-back, 2-back, 3-back offense. They have multiple formations, an option game, a power game with their tailback, a trap game with their fullback, a mobile quarterback, and all of a sudden they just stress you on defense until you come apart. And you couple all that with some quality play-action passing. It's just hard to defend it.
Green up the middle, and he ran into Raynoch Thompson. Might be having the best game of his career tonight. They've seen him several times, and can't remember Thompson being as much of a factor as he has been in this one. Well, some question Tennessee is a number 3 team. The players all talk about it. They've developed a reputation for not winning the big one, in large part because they haven't been able to defeat Florida during the Peyton Manning era, and before that, actually. But I think we're seeing tonight, this is a very good Tennessee team. A lot of good athletes who can really run on defense.
No question. They played the Nebraska offense as well in that first half as any defense I've ever seen play against the Nebraska offense. If their own offense hadn't turned it over, I'm not sure Nebraska would have scored in the first half.
Frost pitched it at the last second. Look out! Ahman Green with one man to beat. And he could not beat him. Terry Fair made the touchdown-saving tackle at the 21-yard line of Tennessee. A 43-yard pickup for Green.
Scott Frost is the master, the magician with running the option play. He comes down the line of scrimmage here. He gets the ball pitched. Sometimes he never even looks. This time he does. He lays it off perfectly. Makovica leading the way, and Ahman Green, the speedster, gets a crack in the defense and then just turns it downfield.
He now has 113 yards rushing. Makovica weaving his way to the right. A gain to the 17, 4-yard pickup. Ron Green and Leonard Little made the tackle. So that's 12 straight games now with 100 yards rushing or more for Ahman Green.
And I think you have to ask yourself, what is the difference in this second half as compared to the first half? Why can Nebraska run the ball all of a sudden now in the second half where they couldn't in the first half? And I think it has to do with that intensity of the offensive line. They seem to have a little skip in their step, if you will, in this second half, where in the first half they didn't seem to. And Tennessee is not penetrating quite as much as they were able to in the first half.
Green up the middle. A lot of tired-looking arm tackles from the defensive front now for Tennessee. Corey Noel had to come up from the secondary to help Corey Terry, the defensive end. And it's close to a first down. Terry McCauley, the referee, says it is a first down just outside the 10. So they could get another first down very close to the goal line. And the double whammy for the Tennessee defense is not only is Nebraska moving and scoring points, but they chew up the clock while they do it.
Well, that's the way they play. They love to run the ball, and they're going to get 80 plays a game, and 68 or 70 of them are going to be runs.
Frost keeps. Frost, touchdown! He might still be cramping up a little bit. You saw him trying to stretch as he went into the end zone.
Scott Frost was certainly silenced in the first half, but has responded in the second half. This is a design quarterback keep. He follows the tailback, Ahman Green. He's the only guy that's supposed to have the ball on this play. He's a great runner. They want him to carry it into the end zone.
Frost had a Nebraska record 19 rushing touchdowns during the regular season. That's the school record for quarterbacks. And he has 2 tonight. Don't count on the stats, since bowl games do not factor in. That run went 11. It's 28-3. The Cornhuskers starting to make a statement.
The nest is empty. your work is done.
So powerful.
It's time to kick back and have some fun.
So agile.
You got the car now.
DeVille with the North Star system.
For who you are now, you're making whoopee.
DeVille for the time of your life.
Oh, look at you.
We're back at Erickson Stadium where we're down to the final seconds of the game and it's still tied. The kick's high and
Ericsson mobile phones. Catch the excitement.
You know, Mother and I are real proud of you going off to the Winter Olympics in Japan. That's what happens when you're America's favorite. But, well, I know you won't be coming back. But you're gonna make one heck of a French fry.
Who feeds the world's greatest athletes? Did somebody say McDonald's?
We love you!
CBS Sports presentation of the FedEx Orange Bowl is sponsored by fast, reliable FedEx. It's the way the world works. McDonald's, Cadillac, and by Fidelity Investments.
Sean McDonough with Terry Donahue, Michelle Tafoy, and Ed Cunningham. Delighted to have you with us for the FedEx Orange Bowl from Miami. Nebraska has taken control, leading by 25. Still 5 minutes left in the third quarter. Cedric Wilson ran into traffic at the 27-yard line.
Kicking them out good for you. Get better, Mom. All right, woo!
Once again, folks, we remind you that the Chevrolet Scholarship Program is in effect tonight, and later in tonight's game, we will be giving you the Chevrolet Players of the Game. First and 10. Tennessee needs to do something, and they need to do it quickly. The pass caught by Marcus Nash, a senior from Tulsa, Oklahoma. With 76 catches coming into tonight, but he's had a quiet night in this one.
Well, he really has, Sean. Tennessee's been unable to get the ball very effectively to Marcus Nash. One of the adjustments Tennessee has just made, they went to the shotgun that time. They've not been in the shotgun very often, but the pressure is starting to mount on Peyton Manning, and they're trying to get him off the line a little bit.
From the 32, 2nd and 6. A lob looking for Nash. He has it. And he's across midfield. Erwin Sweeney made the tackle. They had one-on-one coverage. And Nash has a 20-yard gain on his 4th reception of the night.
Well, this is a great job, Marcus Nash, getting off the bump and run coverage of Erwin Sweeney, the freshman, number 16. And Peyton Manning lays this ball up beautifully. Nash goes up, tremendous concentration. Peyton Manning here under rush. They got him on that knee a little bit.
Jay Foreman hit him after the ball was gone. Jamal Lewis off right tackle, found the hole. He's down at the 41-yard line. Quality gain of 7 on first down for Lewis. There's Jay Foreman, the junior from Eden Prairie, Minnesota, who made the stop. He's had an up-and-down career at Nebraska. Was a starter as a redshirt freshman in '95. Then last year he backed up John Hess. Now he's back in the starting lineup as a junior. Second on the team with those 61 tackles. 3.5 minutes remaining, third quarter. Manning throws, caught again by Nash. No, incomplete now, say the officials. And Nash was wide open, but the throw a bit errant.
Well, I think this is what Tennessee has to try and do, is get the ball upfield more. I know early in the game they wanted to hit the short passes, but they need to drive those defensive backs off Marcus Nash. That ball just went right through his hands. Peyton Manning has been plagued all season long with drop passes by his wide receivers.
And I take back what I said about that being an errant throw. Nash slipped, and that might have hurt his chances of catching it. Manning throws short of Jermaine Copeland. Now it's 4th down and 4, and down by 25. I don't think Philip Fulmer has any choice here, Terry, other than to go for it.
Grant Wistrom, the great defensive lineman, the Lombardi Trophy winner, he has been quiet in the first half, but he's starting to turn it up, and he's a guy that just gives you great second effort all the time. He's always working at getting to the quarterback.
Big play here for Tennessee as they cling the hopes of a comeback. 4th and 4, blitz, caught, first down. He had the forward progress beyond the marker as Eric Warfield put the collar on Jermaine Copeland, but it is a first down just inside the 37-yard line.
Jermaine Copeland just ran right down the field, turned around and stopped, and Peyton Manning threw the ball right at him. It's a great throw. He hits him right between the numbers. You can watch him in the slot. He just turned around. The ball's there on time. Copeland gets the first down.
Clock down to 3 minutes and change remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lewis close to another first down. He had one man to beat, and he was gone. Instead, it's a gain of 9. And it'll be 2nd and 1 at the 28-yard line of Nebraska.
Boy, Sean, that was a nice cut by Jamal Lewis, the freshman tailback. He made a couple Cornhuskers miss there. He is a powerful runner. We're looking at a guy I think will be the next Heisman Trophy candidate at the University of Tennessee as he gets a little more experience, a little more maturity.
He is 67 yards rushing tonight on 13 carries. He gets the handoff again, burst through the hole, ran into his own man, and that might have prevented a touchdown. Instead, he's down at the 5-yard line. Tackled by Eric Johnson, a reserve linebacker. 23 yards on the rush for Lewis, and the Volunteers are on the move.
Well, Jamal Lewis on the isolation play finds a crack in the Nebraska defense. He will go ahead and cut this ball back, and he's going to run in to Jermaine Copeland. Number 6 is right in the way. He makes the tackle, or at least prevents the touchdown for sure.
Hold him down long enough for Johnson to make the stop. 1st and goal at the 5. Manning looking in the end zone, running out of time, throws, touchdown! Peerless Price with the reception for the Tennessee score. And it appears they will go for 2. You saw Manning holding up the 2 fingers, and the sideline held up 2, looking back at the offense.
Peyton Manning is a quarterback who can throw on the run as well as he works out of the pocket. Tennessee does a good job. They get him away from the pressure of Nebraska by sprinting him out, buying him time enough to find the open receiver.
It's amazing how much better Peyton Manning's knee is in just a couple of days. We watched him practice that play a couple of days ago, and he really hobbled as he rolled to his right. Tonight, no sign of any hit.
Sean, it's amazing. I didn't think he was healthy for the ball game, but he clearly is.
Out of the shotgun, the try for 2. He throws incomplete. Looking again for Peerless Price. Erwin Sweeney had the coverage. So it's 28-9 with 1:58 remaining in the 3rd quarter. The FedEx Orange Bowl from Miami.
It's the storm of the century.
Are we all gonna die?
And the opportunity
We just want the money!
of a lifetime.
But you're the sheriff. I'm the what?
Morgan Freeman, Christian Slater. Hard Rain, rated R. Starts Friday, January 16th.
My grandson's a cute kid, but one tough businessman. Hey, buddy, how much to fix my car?
Upfront pricing. What do you think this is, mister? That new GM Goodwin Service Plus?
What a kid. Got upfront pricing, plus a lifetime guarantee on parts and labor, plus courtesy transportation. New GM Goodwin Service Plus. The little guy was right.
The plus means better.
Call for the select GM dealer near you.
Every family dreams of making it to the Olympic Games. Fortunately, you don't have to go through all this to get there. Just look for specially marked Minute Maid packages and watch the Olympic Games on CBS to see if you've won your family trips to the Winter and Summer Olympic Games for life. Minute Maid gives you the taste of eating a fresh, ripe orange and probably your best shot of going to the Olympic Games for life.
The madness is coming.
Wittenberg, it's a long ways. They won it! To Leitner, puts it up. Yes! Milestone victory for Arizona. Simon Says championship.
March Madness, only on CBS.
Back in Miami at Pro Player Stadium. The second year, the home of the FedEx Orange Bowl. And Smokies here for the first time since 1968. That's the last time the Balls were in this game. This is their fourth appearance in the Orange Bowl overall. They're 1-2 coming into this one. Good kickoff by Jeff Hall with the wind, and Chevin Wiggins had to down it. Well, we want to thank Captain Larry Chambers and the entire crew of the Goodyear Stars and Stripes. If you want to learn more about the Goodyear blimp, check it out on the internet at www.goodyear.com and click on at the controls. Now it is official. Everyone has a website. The Tennessee scoring drive, 9 plays, 72 yards. Jamal Lewis, the main man. And they scored relatively quickly. I thought at this point, Jerry, they might even try an onside kick. I know there's more than a quarter to go, but the way Nebraska is holding on the ball and eating up the clock, they need to play more big plays to the Volunteers.
Well, there's no question about it, but Sean, you're scared to death to onside kick, because if you don't get it, you're giving Nebraska such a short field to operate into, and it's hard enough trying to stop them when they have to go 80 yards.
D'Angelo Lloyd, the injured player. He's a true freshman from Charlotte. John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, tells us he is an outstanding prospect. He has great speed off the edge. Unfortunately, not as much speed to the sideline as a result of the injury. Tomorrow, the legend rides again here on CBS. The Magnificent Seven, the greatest Western of all time. Now a series, and don't miss the exciting 2-hour premiere tomorrow right here on CBS. Frost hands off. Amon Green. Terry Fair in pursuit at the 40. And Fair took him down at the 32-yard line. 47 more for Green.
Watch Aaron Taylor, number 67, the left guard. He'll come down and crush the Tennessee nose guard. That creates a huge opening in the defense that allows Amon Green to get through it. The Nebraska offensive line has really come to play in the second half.
The veteran group, they'll lose 6 of their top 7 offensive linemen to graduation, so that'll be the first major challenge for Frank Solich as he takes over as head coach. Joel Makovicka banged down to the 25. That's a gain of 8. Nebraska had 69 yards rushing in the first half. They now have 271 for the game.
And the last 2 runs, Sean, have come right behind the center. Josh Heskew, number 59, and Aaron Taylor, 67, the left guard, along with Fred Pollock, 73. They run again to the left.
And Green is close to another first down. He appears to have it at the 22-yard line, under a minute remaining third quarter. Now you start to wonder if it stays this way, if Nebraska builds on the lead, what is happening to minds of pollsters in the AP poll and in the coaches poll. I think Tennessee has proven, despite the score, it's worthy of a very high ranking. They're certainly one of the best teams in the nation, and Nebraska is starting to take firm control, something Michigan never did yesterday. Touchdown, Amon Green. Flag down at the 3-yard line. And it is a touchdown, says Terry McCauley. 22 yards on the run by Green.
This play is successful because Scott Frost is the master at running the option. But what a block by Joel Macabeka, number 45, the fullback. He'll be way out in the corner. Frost comes down, pitches. Watch 45, the lead blocker. He gets the Tennessee man down that allows that crease to open up for Amon Green.
Chris Brown adds another extra point. Macabeka playing courageously with a very sore hamstring, but he told us a couple of days ago there would be nothing that would keep him out of this game.
Well, and he just won't come out of a football game. They say if they do get him out, he'll rest a play or two, and he'll want right back onto the field. And I think you have to credit the wide receivers of Nebraska. They're doing a great job downfield. Number 14, Lance Brown. There's just blocks all over the field that allows Amon Green to hit those creases.
.29 seconds remaining in the third quarter. There's Aaron Taylor, the outstanding left guard in his final game in Nebraska.
Sean, what you have to do now if you're Tennessee, Phil Fulmer's got the toughest job on his hands. He's got to get his team over here, and he's got to say, hey, listen, fellas, we've got to keep competing. We're playing against a great football team. We've got to show our stuff now in the fourth quarter. We've worked hard. We've had a great season. You look back, Tennessee's been in sudden death ever since they lost the Florida game. Every week's been sudden death for them. Now they've got to sit in there and be competitive and just not get run out of here.
Sudden death because they knew after the one loss to Florida, if they wanted to win the SEC championship, which they said is their main goal, and be in the alliance, which has eluded them in recent years, they needed to win out. So every game had that sense of urgency, and Coach Fulmer's team did run the table to earn him a contract extension announced a couple of days ago through the year 2003 with a hefty pay raise. He'll make about $750,000 per year over the course of that contract.
Oh, it's amazing what's happened to contracts in college football.
Said that as if you might ponder going back.
No.
Darden out to the 30-yard line. 22-yard return. Well, Philip Fulmer doesn't get much attention around the country. And believe it or not, he does have some critics in the state of Tennessee. But all he's done is become the winningest coach of all time by percentage among those with a minimum of 5 years coaching. Phillips in his 6th. And Tom Osborne is number 2.
I think Philip Fulmer is a very underrated, underappreciated at times coach at the University of Tennessee, and primarily because of the Florida series. That's been the series that he's just not been able to get over the hump with.
Just a couple of wins against the Gators. He would be a fully beloved figure in the state of Tennessee. Lewis tackled from behind by Jason Peter. Terrific play by Peter when it looked like Lewis was ready to break away. You wonder if the balls are going to go without a huddle now. They won't have time, it seems, to get another play off in the third quarter. They do not. The third quarter dominated by Nebraska. The Cornhuskers trying to make a statement for the national championship. End of 3, 35-9 Nebraska. We'll return to the FedEx Orange Bowl after this message and a word from your local station.
Nothing goes together quite like the great taste of Tostitos tortilla chips. And Tostitos salsa. Tostitos, the perfect chip for the perfect salsa. Now's a good time.
Start your New Year's diet with Special K and make up for the way you ate over the holidays. Kellogg's Special K. Lose the holiday fat.
Think you're getting the best shave? Take the Sensor XL Challenge. No other razor has Sensor XL's microfins for extra protection. It's the safest way to the closest shave. Take the Sensor XL Challenge. We bet you won't go back.
The Olympic Winter Games return to CBS. Share a moment with the world.
For 1998, the Lexus LS400 comes equipped with an innovative vehicle skid control system, helping you maintain control even when the environment turns a bit hostile. Chase down a great value today at Stevenson Lexus and Cooney Lexus.
Information flows.
The story this afternoon.
It connects people.
CQR.
And adapts to change. At the New York Stock Exchange, the world economy is shaped by a continuous flow of information. And Bain Networks is the computer network that keeps billions of transactions moving smoothly. Because when you control the flow of information, you control the flow of business. Bain Networks, where information flows.
This is Imagine TV.
Look at all this inventory. If we could just think of a big name for a sale, we could get all these clothes out. Close out!
Your Lincoln Mercury dealer's closing out the year with 11 big shopping days of 1% APR for 48 months or $2,000 cash back on a 98 Mercury Villager or get 1.9% APR on a 98 Mountaineer. But hurry, these special offers end January 5th.
What do you think, the red or the blue? It's a tie.
Till next time, imagine yourself in a Mercury.
The Seal Berry Show, Sunday at 11:35 p.m.
Well, back in Miami and an artist at work. Tom Osborne and Peyton Manning, each in his final game at his respective university. Manning throws very short out to the 34-yard line, perhaps the 35, a gain of 2. Well, it used to be people would talk in college football about if you rely on the run, you can't score quickly. That's one of the weaknesses. Well, we saw 21 points and a blizzard of rushing yards. Unbelievable performance in that third quarter by Nebraska.
No question about it. What's interesting is why has it happened all of a sudden? And I think one of the reasons, Tennessee's not tackling as well this half as they did in the first half.
Nebraska had 227 yards rushing in the third quarter. Jamal Lewis chopped down short of a first down, about a yard short. Brandon Harrison, junior from Gainesville, Texas. Backup quarterback made the tackle. He's in his first year at Nebraska as a junior college transfer. Ron Mays down 35-9. 14 minutes left. 1 yard to go. They're punting. Bobby Newcomb waiting for the punt from Chris Hogue. Well, they're offside and then some. Grant Wistrom very anxious. Coming around right end. Question is, was he drawn off?
Ball start.
Yes, he was.
On the offense. 5 yards. Fourth down.
Wistrom said it would be just awful. He couldn't imagine what it would be like if Nebraska did not win Tom Osborne's last game. And his teammates and Grant himself delivering a big performance tonight. So now it's 4th and 6, and Newcomb goes back to the 22-yard line with Shevin Wiggins waiting for the punt from Chris Hogue. Another nose-up spiral of beauty again. Shevin Wiggins from the 20, straight up the middle and down to the 28-yard line. 48 yards on the punt by Hogue. Frustration continues for Peyton Manning and Tennessee.
No, I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
Buick LeSabre is built to keep you safe and secure. A comforting thought, especially for those who aren't even in the car.
Stand by me.
Hey, stranger, where you been?
I don't smoke anymore.
Sorry. I mean,
Great. How'd you do it?
Nicoderm CQ.
CQ? Isn't that the patch with the, 3 steps?
I'm doing the steps.
Nicoderm CQ has 3 steps, so you gradually step down your dose the way doctors and pharmacists prefer.
Steps, Dad. The way to go.
Nicoderm CQ, the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
Every player has a weakness. Tonight, Mr. Grant Hill's weakness takes center court.
There's only one place to go for the irresistible taste of America's favorite fries. Did somebody say McDonald's? Now come to McDonald's and vote for your favorite NBA All-Star.
Oh, they never have the movie I want. I end up watching When Barn Animals Attack Part 4. Wait a minute. They actually have it.
More copies of new releases than ever before. Believe it!
What's going on around here, huh?
Go home happy.
The first theory Jerry Fletcher ever got right may be the last one he'll live to tell.
If you hurt Alice, I'll kill you.
Jerry! Conspiracy Theory, a Richard Donner film, rated R from Warner Home Video. Rented tonight at Blockbuster Video.
CBS Sports presentation of the FedEx Orange Bowl is sponsored by fast, reliable FedEx. It's the way the world works. Buick and your local dealers. Visa. And by Nicoderm CQ.
Well, they're starting to sense it in the Nebraska section. And in the Tennessee seating areas as well. You make that observation because a lot of the Volunteer fans have left. Jay Sims in at I-back. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Here's Michelle.
Well, guys, Mike Osborne, the oldest of Coach Tom Osborne's 3 kids, is down here on the sidelines with a handheld video camera documenting his father's last game. He told me right now he's just really focused on the game, but if it keeps going like it's going, he's bound to get nostalgic, and he's sure his dad is too, guys.
And as was mentioned before the game, the biggest reason Tom Osborne wanted to step aside now was his family. He admits that his wife Nancy more or less raised their children by herself. She was putting in 17-hour days coaching football. Sheldon Jackson tackled by Corey Gaines. A rare pass here in the second half called by Coach Osborne. And it's another first down for Nebraska.
Sean, most coaches' wives raise the families. Coaches are gone 12, 15, 18-hour days at times. And the wives are called upon to do that. And certainly Tom is no exception when it comes to that.
Well, Mike is hoping he can turn his dad into a golfer. Tom Osborne prefers fishing in his rare free moments. Frost, the keeper, now to the 45. What a turnaround it's been for Scott Frost at Nebraska. He took over for Tommy Frazier, one of the most popular players and successful players in Nebraska history. And they were coming off with back-to-back national titles when the team struggled early last year and had lost at Arizona State. Much of the criticism from the Nebraska fans directed at Frost. He was booed, and he bristled at that, spoke out against it. Now he has been embraced, but you get the sense talking to him, he still remembers the boos too.
Well, there's no question. Scott Frost made a poor decision out of high school when he chose Stanford because he didn't fit in the Stanford offense. Stanford's a great school, but he didn't fit there. He wanted to play for Bill Walsh, but he didn't have the kind of throwing arm you needed. He made a great decision when he decided to come back home and get into this offense because he's a dominant player in it.
He was the backup to Steve Stenstrom for 2 years at Stanford, 2 losing seasons. He wanted to go back where he knew he would play on a winning team and be a key member. Frost close to another first down at the Tennessee 37-yard line. Nice blocking by Jeff Lake. The wide receivers really are glorified blockers in this offense.
Boy, they do a tremendous job on the perimeter with those blocks. Scott Frost running the option to perfection. He loves to keep the ball and hit the crease in the defense. The big red machine right now is starting to roll.
What was interesting about Frost's decision to go to Stanford, too, is that he has a lengthy family history at the University of Nebraska. Both parents were athletes at the State University. His dad, Larry, was a football player. His mother, Carol, a track athlete. Mother Carol won the discus in the Pan Am Games in '67, went on to the '68 Olympics.
Now, Scott's a great student as well, and, you know, he talked about wanting to get the education at Stanford and wanting to just kind of get away from Nebraska, try something new.
Interesting about Carol Frost, she remains involved in sports in football. There's Larry Frost and Carol. Larry Frost is the head coach at the high school which Scott Frost attended in Wood River, Nebraska. And Carol Frost is an assistant coach. She coaches the wide receivers and the defensive ends. And the other day, when most of the mothers of the Nebraska players went to the Seaquarium here in Miami, Mrs. Frost said she'd rather stay in the hotel and watch the NFL playoff games. And that's what she did. Frost on the carry. Close to a first down at the 28. Deion Grant made the tackle.
Well, you can see Scott Frost, when he has the ball in his hands, he's following Amon Green, the tailback here. This is a design keep. Amon Green blocks the linebacker, and there's a hole in the defense for Frost. And he's like having another tailback in the backfield. You're talking about a guy that weighs 220 pounds. He's strong, tough. He's got it all, except he's not a great thrower.
Has an awkward motion, which undoubtedly Bill Walsh would like to have worked with had Scott stayed there, and had Bill Walsh stayed at Stanford for that matter. But he is effective despite the throwing motion.
No question. He's thrown for over 1,000 yards, mostly with play-action type passing.
He's going to play in a couple of the postseason senior all-star games, and while he would like to play some quarterback to prove that he is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, he realizes that he probably should play defense, because if he has a future in the NFL, and many think he does, it is as a defensive back.
He reminds me of Nolan Cromwell, the great option quarterback from Kansas who had a wonderful pro career. That's who he looks like.
On 4th and 1, Frost. The pitch to Green, and it's a loose ball. Leonard Little ran by it. Now it's picked up, and you cannot advance that pitch. But Darwin Walker recovered, and it didn't really matter because it was 4th down anyway. Tennessee was going to get the ball, and they have it at about the 32.
Terry Fair, number 13, the defensive back from Tennessee, does a great job. He makes the quarterback pitch this ball. He stretches it, then all of a sudden the ball's pitched. The lead back, Amon Green, had gotten ahead of him a little bit, and Frost didn't get it done.
And the coaches, Frost, upset about an opportunity gone awry.
I will not accept anything less than a perfect quad twisting triple.
I will not accept anything less than my personal best.
I will not accept anything less than 80 miles per hour.
I will not accept anything less than 1 minute 17 seconds.
I will not accept any card but Visa.
At the 1998 Olympic Winter Games, only the best is accepted. Visa, worldwide partner of the Nagano Games. It's everywhere you want to be.
Ever notice that a year goes by quicker these days? Which means the weeks go by quicker. And the days. The minutes.
The new supercharged Regal GS has more standard safety features than any car in its class, plus loads of room, so you can pack even more into your supercharged day.
Hey, when life is fast,
Life is good!
The new Regal GS by Buick. Official car of the supercharged family.
Hey, let go of my ego. Okay. Thanks.
Having successfully cloned himself, Randolph no longer had a problem letting go of his Eggo waffle. No matter what, one of him always got it.
Hey, let go of my ego. Hey, let go of my ego.
Which one, however, became an issue. Crisp, delicious Eggo waffles. Too good to let go.
Get the story on your favorite players and teams fast. Exclusive columns by top writers. Detailed stats and interviews on the net. CBS.sportsline.com.
Sean McDonough, Terry Donahue, Michelle DeFoy, and Ed Cunningham back at the FedEx Orange Bowl in Miami. Nebraska takes over. 9:14 remaining. Manning's pass incomplete. Here's Ed Cunningham, a Hall of Famer, better known these days as Peyton's dad.
We're here with Archie Manning. Archie, and I know
it's not how you wanted it to turn out. But can you talk about the emotions you're feeling right now?
Well, you know, I hate to see them lose. Nebraska's a great team and all, but in a way, I hate to see it come to an end for Peyton and all his buddies that are seniors, because it's been a great ride for them. I'm sure they'd like for tonight to be better, but it's just a great team, and it's been a great experience for them. It's been a great experience for the Manning family. We've had a wonderful time.
Take a short break for the play.
And as a light rain begins to fall, Manning's pass to Lewis. And Jamal thrown for loss back to Ed.
As a parent, he made a huge decision last year to turn down a lot of money and come back. What was it like as a parent to see him make that decision?
Well, we were proud of him. It had to be his decision, and we were going to support him if he'd have come out. But in his heart, it's what he wanted to do, and we were proud the way he did all the research and his due diligence, and that's what he wanted to do. I think it said a lot. I think it had an impact on some others, and you know, I'm glad it worked out for him. I'm glad he was able to stay healthy this year, and they won a championship. And I'm glad he stayed. He is too. We're proud of him.
Archie, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the ball game.
Pass incomplete. Here comes the punting unit. Well, believe it or not, there is another Manning coming along. Peyton's younger brother Eli is a high school quarterback, a junior in New Orleans. Some say at that stage of his development, he's better as a junior in high school than Peyton Manning was, and if that's the case, it's a frightening prospect. But Eli already very highly recruited.
No question about that, Sean. But if he is, he's something special, and I'm sure he is. But Peyton Manning, he represents everything you like about college football. Everything. I can't imagine having a more complete player and person than this guy is.
You can't carry yourself as a college athlete with any more class or dignity, grace than Peyton Manning has. 39-yard punt. Back in a moment.
The first monuments built for the pharaohs were impressive, but unpredictable. Eventually, they designed a wider base for better balance, proving that wider is better.
The writing's on the wall with the Wide Track Grand Prix Sports Sedan. Its unique Wide Track design sets the wheels wider for better balance and monumental control.
The inscriptions still read, Ne feu ce qu'un cat ne bête.
The Wide Track Grand Prix, driving excitement by Pontiac. Wider is better.
In 1984, two computer scientists envisioned the impossible, a seamless network of computer networks. They invented the router, and Cisco Systems was born. Out of Cisco came internetworking, and now directing millions of messages a day. Their equipment makes the internet possible. Cisco will be there as web users soar to 200 million by the year 2000. Where do you learn about companies so integrated into the future? NASDAQ, shaping the new world of investing.
Горбачев, из-за него мы на краю экономической пропасти.
Да благодаря ему у нас свобода.
Из-за него мы на краю политического хаоса.
Благодаря ему мы теперь свободны. И можем дойти до края этой пиццы.
The Edge Pizza from Pizza Hut with no outer crust, so the toppings go all the way to the edge.
За Горбачева! За Горбачева! За Горбачева!
Almost everyone's been to the edge. Have you?
Saturday, meet the original America's team.
Time's up.
The Magnificent Seven, 2-hour series premiere CBS Saturday.
Time for the game summary. All of a sudden, Nebraska has 327 rushing yards. They had 69 at the half. That's still their lowest total of the season. With 8 more, they'll match their lowest total. And Amon Green has a chance at the Orange Bowl record for rushing yards in a game. 205 is the record. They give it to Amon Green. And he's to the 35 for a gain of 1. Monday on CBS, kick off the new year with a night of great television. Fun starts with Cosby, as it always does. Then it's the show critics are raving about. Everybody loves Raymond. Followed by Bob Newhart and Judd Hirsch and George and Leo. Then say hello to the new Monday comedy Style and Substance. Finally, the most important new drama on television, Brooklyn South. All Monday night on CBS. Newcomb takes the pitch. He can fly. He's still flying. Flag down to the secondary. Newcomb inside the 25 and down to the 16. An important flag, perhaps, for Nebraska and for Michigan, because you wonder, Terry, if people look at comparative scores, if 35-9 isn't enough to sway some, would 42-9 be enough to sway some, and I think that's why the Frost family, for example, was so agitated in their reaction to that failed 4th down. They know every point could be crucial.
No question about it. That turnover that Scott Frost had on that option play, now this big play called back again, it probably will influence some voters one way or another. Eric Anderson, number 70, the big right tackle, he hustles down the field after trying to make his block, and on the pitch play, Bobby Newcomb comes down the sideline, and Anderson, right in the back there, pushing in the back, gets called and brings that play back.
Good call.
It was a good call. They saw it right.
They've done a very good job tonight, these officials from the Atlantic Coast Conference.
Eric Anderson, number 7 on Deion Grant, the defensive back for Tennessee. And it's the officials right there on the spot. And you hate to bring a play back like that, but that's what happens.
Walked off from the spot at 2nd down and 6. Huskers at their own 38. Frost, the pitch to Green, running room in the corner. He's into Tennessee territory, down at the 47-yard line.
You know what's interesting too, Sean? The Nebraska offense, you could only run this style of offense in certain atmospheres. There's a lot of places around the country you can't run this offense. The fans don't like it. It's not wide open enough in some people's mind because it's so run-oriented and people want to throw the ball. But this offense is perfect for Lincoln, Nebraska. They love it. All they do is win, set a 5-year record for the best record in the history of college football with it.
Makovica dancing through traffic. Look at Frost hustling downfield to throw a block. Torrey Noel made the tackle with a 37, 1st down, Nebraska.
The physicalness of the Nebraska offense has just worn Tennessee down in the 2nd half. Tennessee played tremendous defense in the 1st half, but now that powerful offensive line and that relentless attack by the Big Red is just wearing them down, and they've had a lot of injuries as well on defense. A lot of players have left the game.
Jay Sims back in at I-back. Here he goes. Almost went the distance. Deion Grant made the tackle. 14 for Sims. He is the I-back. Amon Green is 1 yard short of the Orange Bowl rushing record with 204 yards tonight.
I think it's safe to say if Amon Green gets back into the game, he'll get that Orange Bowl record the way these holes are beginning to really open up against the Tennessee defense.
The true freshman, Burrell Buckhalter, is in it. I-back now. And Frost might be changing the play. 5 on the play clock. Here's Buckhalter. Fresh legs driving down inside the 15-yard line. Unprecedented run of success for this senior class, the recruiting class of 1993 for Nebraska, the 48-2 record, the best ever. 2 national titles, perhaps a 3rd. 3 conference titles and a perfect record at home. Other than that, they didn't do much.
Sean, the offense is overpowering. It might be easier to stop the Big Red Army of China than the Big Red Army of Lincoln, Nebraska.
Green needs a yard to tie the record. That looks like a gain of 2. Jonathan Brown made the stop. That is a 2-yard gain officially for Green, and he now has the Orange Bowl record for rushing yards in a game, 206 on 29 carries, breaking the mark set by Roland Sales of Arkansas against Oklahoma in the 1978 Orange Bowl. Makovica inside the 10, fumble, and it's still free. And you wonder, not to overly dramatize the point, if that could be a national championship saving recovery for the Cornhuskers. If every point matters and votes are being swayed based on comparative scores and the like, then this is big.
You watch the power and the precision of the Nebraska offense, and it's unmatched in the country. No one has an offensive team as powerful as this one. They just don't. Michigan certainly has a top-ranked defense, the best defense in the country.
Frost scores another touchdown. His 3rd of the night.
Well, Scott Frost certainly has stepped it up a notch here in the second half. It's the fake to the fullback, follow the tailback. It's a design keeper. They've run it about 8 times tonight. That's what Scott Frost has responded with in the second half.
Chris Brown added the extra point. 42-9 Nebraska.
Greetings and salutations. Don't touch that dial. You're going to want to hear this. As I speak, a team from MCI is arriving. Why is MCI here? For openers, we have a staff of 10 just to handle telecom bills. We have MIS people who haven't had a day off since Roosevelt was in office. Employees who are totally unreachable outside these doors. And of course, we have this lovely PA system. What will the MCI team do differently? To begin with, there will be one team, not many. They'll provide answers in the form of technologies like intranet, extranet, video, and internet conferencing. Now turn your gaze to the squawk box nearest you and ponder this. When the MCI solutions arrive, you will never have to listen to me again.
Wouldn't you rather have something under the hood than on it? This is the supercharged Bonneville. One of the world's most powerful sports sedans. Inside and out. It's time traditional luxury collected some dust. Luxury with attitude. The Bonneville by Pontiac.
Tonight on Dave, Kevin Klein, Kevin Sorbo, Kevin Brennan. 3 Kevins, no waiting.
Oh, by the way, I don't know what that means.
Tonight.
3 touchdowns tonight for Scott Frost. 42-9 for Nebraska. The question becomes, is it enough to get the Cornhuskers a piece, at the very least, of the national championship? Tom Osborne's 1-2. Been a part of the program for 4 in his 36 years at Nebraska. Started in 1962 as an assistant to Bob Devaney. Chris Brown to kick off. And Cedric Wilson back deep. Good kick with the wind. Wilson gets a touchback. And it looks like Peyton Manning's career at Tennessee is over. As T. Martin has a helmet on, he's ready to run onto the field.
Well, I think this is certainly understandable. Peyton Manning has done absolutely everything he could in his power for the University of Tennessee. This is a good opportunity for T. Martin. Also, you make sure Peyton Manning comes out of this game healthy. I think this is the right decision.
Why not give Manning one more play and let him run off to an ovation that he has deserved?
Well, either way, but not a lot of Tennessee fans left here, John.
Handoff up the middle. Travis Stevens, a true freshman, taking the handoff. Manning ends his career holding every passing record at the University of Tennessee. The SEC Player of the Year this year. And he ranks #1 all-time in the SEC in completion percentage and completions and in lowest interception ratio.
And you know he hates ending his career like this. He's such a fierce competitor.
Martin over the middle to Sean Bryson. Well, the point was made at the top of the telecast. He might have cost himself some money because he didn't come out last year. I think he could care less about that. He's going to make more money in all likelihood than he'll ever need.
That's right.
And he came back because he wanted to be a senior in college and experience the entirety of what that entails as a student and as an athlete.
You know, Sean, you're right. He came back for all the right reasons. Things didn't work out exactly, probably, as he would have wished, but that's life, and you learn something there, too. That's all part of the experience, and he talked about the experience. That's why he came back. He wanted to continue with his college education and with that experience.
Let's turn our attention to the larger issue now. Who is number one? The best team in the nation. This situation, again, cries out for a playoff because it's obviously difficult to choose either team. Whichever team is not the national championship is going to feel that it is shortchanged with good reason. Here's the statistical comparison. Our crew, I don't think, was overly generous in awarding Nebraska a victory in this game. Nice throw by Martin. And Andy McCullough's running free in the secondary. You know, much was made that Michigan played the tougher schedule, but I think as we look at the bowl game results, Terry, the Big Ten might have been exposed for not being as strong as people said it was all season long. The Big Ten really struggled in bowl games, 2 and 5, including Michigan's victory. And their out-of-conference games, Baylor and Notre Dame and Colorado. Beginning of the year, that looks tough, but Notre Dame had a disappointing year. Colorado had a very disappointing year. Baylor was not a very good team. Where Nebraska, out of the league, went out and played a very good Washington team in Seattle, as you know, one of the toughest places in the nation to play, and won easily.
Well, I think if you're one of the AP 70 writers who are going to vote on this decision, or one of the 62 coaches who vote in the coaches poll, you've got to really sit down and think about this, because it would be in many ways, to me, a tragedy if Brian Griese and Charles Woodson, you look at Griese, the road of a walk-on to MVP in the Rose Bowl, Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner. If they don't get a share of the national championship, there's something wrong. They did everything they were asked to do. But at the same time, Scott Frost and Joel Makovecka and those guys, they did everything they were asked to do.
Yes, they did. Martin lost his helmet, and he is sacked, and there is a flag thrown in the secondary. It's the second sack of a Tennessee quarterback tonight. 2:04 remaining. Nebraska leads 42-9. And the officials confer about the penalty. Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Peyton Manning of Tennessee and Amon Green of Nebraska. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. Could also be Amon Green's last game. He told us the other day he's not certain he'll come back for his senior year. Penalty against Nebraska. Well, I think if these two teams play, Michigan and Nebraska, Nebraska would be the favorite. Remember, we listened to a radio program here in South Florida today, and who cares what the odds makers say, but they called out, and the odds maker said Nebraska would be the favorite in the game by about a touchdown. That doesn't matter. But I think both teams are great on defense. You have to say Nebraska has an edge on offense.
Well, that might be, but Sean, I have my own personal beliefs, and I really think that the national championship should be shared by these two teams. That's just what I believe. I remember in '90, Colorado, Georgia Tech, they shared it.
I agree with you, by the way.
91.
I'm just saying,
I know you
for
do.
those who awarded the thing to Michigan after they won yesterday, that really shortchanges this Nebraska team.
That's just not.
I agree with you. They both deserve it. One, if it isn't a split, somebody is going to be deservedly very upset.
I remember in '91, Miami, Washington. I had a vote in the coaches poll in '90 and '91, and I voted both teams in the first place. And I just think you better weigh it, because, boy, a national championship is such a special thing to players and coaches. It means so much.
Team Martin can really run. He's inside the 5 with 1:02 remaining, an 11-yard gain. Well, it's up to the voters now. Each team stated its case over the last 2 days. And unfortunately, that Super Alliance, which comes in next year, may not solve the problem. This year, you could have had 3 undefeated teams, all with a great claim for #1 if Florida State had won at Florida. Then what do you do in your Super Alliance? You got a game with 2 teams, 3 who could make a claim. Back in a moment.
We drive family sedans, 4x4s, and small city cars. We carry groceries. We carry lumber. We carry life. And we all want to feel safe doing it.
Making a lot of different cars and trucks makes us, well, the car company. Making them all deliver the things that matter most makes us GM. The company you count on wherever life takes you. General Motors, people in motion.
You know, Mother and I are real proud of you going off to the Winter Olympics in Japan. That's what happens when you're America's favorite. But, well, I know you won't be coming back. But you're gonna make one heck of a French fry.
Who feeds the world's greatest athletes? Did somebody say McDonald's?
We love you!
It doesn't matter if you work for a big company or a startup.
Whether you work for yourself or to help others.
Fidelity has a way to help you prepare for the day when you won't need to work at all.
Whether you're changing jobs,
Or happy where you are,
retired,
or just starting out.
more people trust their retirement plans to Fidelity than any other company.
It's your retirement.
It's our job to help you make the most of it.
Brooklyn South. The season's most talked about new drama. See how it all began. Brooklyn South, the first episode, CBS Monday.
A minute and 2 seconds remaining in this college football season. Husker Illustrated has proclaimed Nebraska #1. First and goal from the 3. T. Martin into the end zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Andy McCullough. So the heir apparent to Peyton Manning drives the Volunteers down the field, and final act for Grant Wistrom and Jason Peter at Nebraska, it seems, will be to give Tom Osborne a bath.
Well, you got to be impressed with T. Martin coming in off the bench. He took that team right on down to the score and throws across his body there and finds an open receiver in the end zone.
Well, they're all set.
I'm telling you, that is cold when you get that little shower there, but you love every second of it.
Now the try for 2. Martin was 4 for 4 on that drive. He swings it out, and there's the 2-point conversion for Travis Stevens, the true freshman from Clarksville, Tennessee. 42-17, Nebraska.
This morning, a quiet man in Wales decided to stir imaginations around the world. Soon, classrooms became kingdoms. Dinosaurs roamed the earth, and all it took was the wave of a wand, the twinkle of an eye, and suddenly he could open minds, take dreams farther, and create more excitement than ever before. He wasn't always so powerful, but with FedEx, it's the way the world works.
And now, our FedEx delivery of the game.
And the FedEx delivery of the game from Ahman Green. You saw him celebrating his second touchdown of the night, a 22-yarder. He has delivered a record-setting performance tonight.
Only the real good players on the team, Sean, dare carry that bucket. You know, you look there, Jason Peter, Wistrom, those are the kind of guys that carry that bucket to get the old head coach.
Looks like they're trying to give him some sort of a championship cap, and Tom said, that's okay, I like the one I have on. You wouldn't expect him to change. So little has changed about the man and his program over the last 36 years. And they still run the same offense and defenses that Bob Devaney put in with help from Tom Osborne. They have the same numbering system. I mean, as if nothing has changed in that 36-year span. The one thing that certainly has not changed is winning. They've had 36 straight winning seasons.
Well, I look at Tom Osborne, 25 years head coach, 25 straight bowls. I mean, it's incredible the job that he has done.
As college football fans well know, he's not an emotional man, but you sense looking at the face that the emotions are now stirring the realization that in 58 seconds he'll walk off the sideline for the last time. And Nebraska will be the land of Oz no longer. Onside kick, recovered, but he was out of bounds, it seemed, from here. Yep, flag comes out. Andy McCullough fielded it, but he was on the Nebraska sideline. Wistrom and Peter inching closer.
On the kicking tee. Penalties decline. First down.
And the legacy of Tom Osborne.
Here we go.
There, ooh. Another bath added to that legacy. And a hug from Jason Peter. And you can say what you want about the decisions he's made relative to some players over the years, but by and large, the vast majority of Nebraska players have been outstanding in the classroom, outstanding in the community. They have had some problems off the field. Some have questioned Osborne's decisions in that realm, but you can't deny that he does care unbelievably about his players, and they return that affection.
No question about it. And there's not a program in America that hasn't had some form of problems. Nebraska isn't any different than anybody else when it comes to that.
Clearly one of the great coaches of all time. And he's 20 seconds away from the career-ending victory. Only fitting that it would end with a victory and perhaps a national championship for Tom Osborne. He leaves us with 255 wins. And not a happy ending for Peyton Manning as he heads toward the NFL. Tom Osborne heads for a fishing pole. Let's check in with Armin Katayan.
Peyton, obviously, first 3 turnovers in the first half, tough to overcome to give the ball away to Nebraska.
Yeah, that killed us. So you can't turn the ball over against a great team like Nebraska and expect to win. And that really hurt us. We were hoping to play mistake-free football. We didn't do it. That hurt us.
The wind, the pressure from the defense?
Not really. Really just hurt ourselves most of the game. They're a great defense, and you know if you give them anything easy, their offense is going to make you pay. But we really hurt ourselves all night.
One professional question. Indianapolis has the first pick. Does that matter to you?
I really don't know at this point. You know, it was my last college game, but now that it's over, I'll kind of make the next move, and we'll just see what happens.
Class act, Peyton. Sean, back to you.
Thank you, Armin.